Okay, a little unusual. We actually got a bit of a panel going there first.
Yep. And also,
there's
Eagle
a-
Rider is at the moment BRB. So
she's checking on something there. So let's go
yeah.
and get this stuff brought up here.
So playing through the Episcopal door, but not through the Luna server, right?
I'm just going through Chrome, and then this is just
Yeah.
just regular old PC. Launch the game. So,
Yeah. I would play Fortnite, but unlike the generic characters, I prefer the featured characters.
well,
But still,
we got Anime to come back. Anime Night to come back. So,
yeah.
and he actually, because when we're switching skins around, the original Deadpool skin that goes back a ways.
Even though I'll wait till my pay gets a little, little better, so I can able to afford the Hank Hill skin because Hank Hill propane.
Yeah, well, this thing I don't have. I'd be making Hank Hill jokes all the damn time.
Yeah. Even though
the King of Hill propane and propane accessories,
like propane and propane accessories. Yeah.
Taste the blue flame of justice.
Besides, like it's a bit of a rough week, to be honest.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because I tell you, like the heat and everything, because it's kind of screwed my mind over and everything. And I need to get my bike checked at some point because it's been making the rattling noise by the gears and chains.
Remember years ago, when Letterman thing talking about, Al Gore blaming the temperatures, on global warming. Oh yeah. And there's another reason that it's July. It's supposed to be hot.
Yeah.
It's almost July.
Yeah, it's almost July, and Pride Month's almost over in less than a week.
Oh God, not soon enough. Most gays are sick of Pride. It's like this is not what we marched for.
To be honest, look, I don't.
The whole point is to be treated like normal human beings, and this is anything but. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine that we don't want to offend these type of people. At the same time, we need to make sure their personality in check. That's they're not going insane over crazy things.
Well, the thing is, the crazy people just saw it as an excuse. Oh, we're through. It's no, you're not. This isn't.
Yeah.
But Trini started. No, it wasn't Trent. It was a couple of drag queens.
Yeah.
That were at the Stonewall riots, and one of them is still around. Saying, "No, we never, because it's when they kind of perverted the idea of drag. It's supposed to be a performance. It's a gag. It's a sexual minstrel show.
Yeah.
Nobody was under the impression that these were real women.
Let's also bear in mind that the original drag was not cross-dressing. It was women.
Yeah.
It literally was something that was usurped by men that was actually a form of female entertainment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the whole thing
real true.
That's why
let me finish the thought on this here.
Okay. All right.
Because literally, let's take that at its word. If you did that with any other gender-based, culture-based, or anything, entertainment, wouldn't you be considered an appropriator?
Oh, yeah.
If you literally take somebody's expression and somebody's entertainment and say, nope, that's mine now. And not even to credit the original people who created it, but to claim that it's some representation of you and your community.
Oh, yeah. Well, you listen these days, everyone was trans and went, Julius Caesar went, excuse me?
No. First of all, the fact that other cultures wore clothing differently and wore clothes that are now considered feminine does not make the people that were in that culture cross-dressers or trans.
Yeah.
First of all. And I've heard that argument. It's horse shit completely across the fucking board. It's horse
we don't want to go too far.
But also, no, they weren't. Because they weren't doing this because they literally hated their gender or other stuff. Cross-dressing, femboys and other stuff are not the same as trans. If they want to actually be inclusive, they need to stop fucking acting like they're all the same thing. Because trans, whether they actually go through the surgeries or whether it's full dysphoria where you hate your own gender. There's a specific medical thing behind that, medical and mental thing.
Yeah.
Anybody who's not a part of that part, that does not mean that their struggles aren't real, but they sure as hell shouldn't be using the term for a very specific type of struggle.
No.
Yeah. And
there's a reason why Buck Angel is not following me. Okay.
These are the same people that want to lump autism, ADHD, Tourette's, OCD, and all this stuff as one spectrum of condition. It's like, no, they're separate fucking issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They got a lot of the old, like Buck and Fields, trying to reclaim the term transsexual. That is a medical diagnosis.
Yeah, it's a medical diagnosis, not a sexuality.
If anything, we need to put emphasis where this sort of thing is no longer necessary.
Look, and the thing is, if they want to be a woman, it's okay, but they still, they'll still be originally him or. But I don't care if it's basically.
There are certain things that need to be handled, though. You have to have the original gender on file somewhere because DNA is a part of criminal investigations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But also, and I'm sorry, cry about it. Your DNA doesn't change gender with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, you've got to stop with this shit claiming that women are anti-trans or TERFs or other shit because they speak out against men in their private spaces. Nobody was going to these bathrooms and going, prove you're a female, to guys who were passing and going into the rooms, even if they did look masculine. If they were dressed like women and acting like women and leaving people alone, nobody was questioning that until a bunch of guys tried to go into bathrooms in male clothing, and when the women went to the businesses, they were told that they were anti-trans for saying these guys are harassing women in the bathroom. That was Target and Planet Fitness that started that, by the way.
Well, Lily Tino is now facing felony charges in Florida.
Good.
Sort of stunt.
And I know that whole case too, because nobody cared if guys who were genuinely trans were going in the bathrooms trying to pass and just find a place to use it and out of the way. Personally, I don't believe we should have stall-based bathrooms anyways. I don't believe there should be any place where anyone can easily see into anybody else's privacy while they're doing this. You shouldn't have to be at communal sinks to wash things like period blood and shit off you. No, hell no. You should be private rooms with their own little sink every time.
Yeah.
Some of the higher-end shopping malls, the stalls are like full walls. There's no underneath.
There shouldn't even be a communal sink area, though. None.
Yeah.
Period. And I've stood on this since I was a child. This is not because of the new debate on bathrooms or the shit that's happening in modern culture. I've never believed there should be a communal sink area. It's not safe.
Yeah.
Okay. When I was a kid, the school bathroom, there weren't even walls between the toilets.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have issues with that. I also have issues with schools forcing kids to shower together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is absolutely morally repugnant and also violates people's privacy and safety.
Yeah, and the thing is, look, the lucky thing for me is I'm in my local schools. They don't do that stuff anymore because since if you're sharing a shower with somebody, it's kind of like they might make fun of people's private parts, and the bullying happens in the bathroom.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if they're not in their underwear, it's gonna be a problem. Since I know I experienced locker room situations before, because I don't want to like to see other guys dunk.
Let's be honest. While that can be traumatic enough for boys, it is far worse for girls because we have a much more natural protection to our bodies normally, anyways. But also because predators can be both genders easily, and statistically, women are targeted more often than men. But also just the fact that women tend, when they do bully girls, to be a lot more savage and brutal than men are. So when girls are bullied in the locker rooms and showers, it's worse.
That's true.
Grade school boys are no slouches, though. I can tell you that from personal experience.
No, but they're nothing compared to these girls.
Yeah.
But this is something people don't want to acknowledge on the feminist side because they don't want to acknowledge that women can be evil little shitheads.
Yeah. Children in general. Children in general are fucking evil.
Women worse.
Oh, yeah.
Boys tend to be more. Let me explain this to you. Same way it is with domestic abuse and other stuff. Boys tend to be more direct. Yeah. They will be savage, but they say flat out what they mean. It's physical, but it usually ends relatively quickly. Bear in mind that I'm my personal life is an example that this is not always the case. It's the things the boys did to me is a whole other ball game.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, men and boys do not go as long, hard, or deep in the psychological torment and the absolute destroying your self-esteem that women do. It does happen, but not as often and nowhere near as much.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been modifying the thought process here. Then basically, with boys, it's, prove you're worthy to be a member of the herd type of thing.
Whereas women will just fuck you into oblivion if they don't like you for any reason.
Yeah. Like I said, this cyberbullying thing recently, it was a trans girl, as in a girl who's trying to be a boy. So it's like there's certain just innate characteristics. It's like,
Now there are some people who can pass really well. Blair White.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I have seen some trans guys who look hot as fuck as chicks.
Mm-hmm.
But
and I have seen some girls who can pass off as guys really easy and look good.
Blair's put in a lot of work.
But they're few and far between. Most of them don't.
Yeah. Even though I could say
like,
this.
It's like I would look like an idiot calling Blair Buck Angel she, or Blair White a he.
But to be honest,
I look like a moron.
To be honest, Blair White, she looks that attractive, but like I have no questions asked about her. But if they want to be perfectly look like a woman perfectly as a trans, it's not a-okay. But if not like those fake trans, like they look like they never took whatever treatments and all the stuff they're doing.
Like a certain person, which I just made a video about, saying, you want your material back, talk to me.
There are people who genuinely have trans conditions or are trying to pass, who struggle with passing. As long as they're being kind and respectful to other people, I will respect them and stuff. And I do understand where some of the people in that community talk about the passing privilege and how much easier it is if you don't have both sides questioning you constantly. I understand that from a psychological viewpoint. It doesn't mean I support most of the behavior that's happening in the community. Okay. But the good people need to be supported because the shit they're being put through is horrific on both sides.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't agree on all the stupid gender wars going on because, the thing is, look, both men and women, like, they need to stop going against each other and just realize, look, I get it. Maybe it's because they dated a jerk or they dated a bimbo. Do I really care? Not really.
It's usually not even that complicated. And it's like,
well, the problem is with that whole issue is I understand psychologically, speaking from experience, it is really, really difficult to not see what traumatized you when you look at people that look similar to what traumatized you. There is a psychological reason behind it. There is a reason why people who have been violently assaulted, when they see anyone who looks similar to the person who assaulted them, they freak out. And that does translate into abuse and gender wars as well, which is why there's a validity to both the women who became feminists because they were mistreated horribly by men and the men who fell into the hardcore side of the MGTOW and the fake alpha manosphere shit because they'd been actually literally abused and manipulated and mistreated by women. And both sides had a valid origin story, but if you can't break away from your trauma and not treat people like you were treated, then you are now becoming the monster.
Yeah. And the point is that, let's say this, like if a man dated a bimbo, well, the thing is, you got to be careful what it turned out, because the thing is, when you date a bimbo and something bad happening, the point is, it's basically like, let's say he might end up trying to get, let's say this, if the bimbo causing the problem, then he might end up hating her, and then the whole deal, the same.
Well, if you're going with a bimbo, recognize you're going with the bimbo, okay? There's certain it's going to go so far. Yeah. Don't be surprised if it doesn't end well. A lot of this
can be solved by two things. Women, stop trying to fix bad boys. This really, really goes for myself too, if you know my history. And men, stop sticking your fucking dicks in crazy.
Yeah, it's true. And I'm just saying, women need to stop fixing bad boys. Men need to stop, basically
Stick your dick in
fixing.
crazy, right?
Yeah, they can dig it crazy or not fixing her. Like
It's
say.
like, well, Ralph Reagan, no, the stripper doesn't necessarily like you. Okay.
Yeah. The point
she's
is,
friendly. She's friendly enough, but it's like you did not find true love.
Let me refer to the case that broke a lot of shells because all these guys were always commenting on women that are fans for serial killers or male or sexual criminals or stuff like that. Going, well, men would never do this. There is a case that happened in Japan where this girl was literally portrayed in the media and by her fan clubs after her crime as having the perfect, adorable anime face, and was literally compared to a specific anime trope of the psycho stalking female.
The Yanderes.
I knew you'd get it as soon as I said that.
Yeah.
And she is let me finish the story. She is psychotic. Her and the guy she was following both worked at the social houses, basically borderline prostitution that's legalized in Japan.
Yeah.
And she was so determined that his affection was real for her when it was never for any other woman that was paying him, that he was going to be hers, that she tried over and over to force it to happen. And when it didn't, she casually went up to him in his elevator and stabbed him in the stomach and then sat there playing on her phone in his blood.
Yeah, I saw that. And I tell you,
all of that. And she's got tens of thousands of men around the world going, she's my kind of crazy. Why can't the girl love me that much?
No.
Well,
what the fuck is wrong with you people?
And yet it's kind of...
I have used that line exchanges. You're my kind of crazy, but never to no. It's just a little weird. Okay,
not to a woman who will stab you in the stomach and sit there watching you bleed out to death if you turn her down.
No. That's
and the thing is,
gentlemen, please raise your standards, okay?
Yeah,
women too, because I see all you girls fanboying over killers. It's really gross.
Yeah, women need to lower their standards. Men need to do that as well.
No, raise their standards, because seriously, why the hell do these fake alphas even have any girlfriends to begin with? And why are these girls sitting there laughing while they're saying shit like, women are stupid, they all want our money? Oh, because that's the only ones they date are the gold digging sluts who don't care what the guys do as long as they give them things.
Yeah, and to be honest, well, what's the point if they gotta be dating? Like for me, I had to be careful one thing because certain people I had to be careful because if I stick into crazy, my God, they won't go away.
No, it doesn't. And see, that's the other thing. Never decker with an unwrapped pecker, fuckers. Wait.
Yeah.
Because some of these disorders are inheritable.
But here's the other thing, like let's say this in the other situation, if I didn't stick in my thing into crazy, okay. Since let's say this, I kind of avoided getting into a relationship to my former friend because let's say this, the thing is I didn't tell her that I have a girlfriend back then, and then what happened is she ended up found out in secret, and the thing is she ended up trying to cause a whole vendetta. I don't know how she found I had a girlfriend and kind of ruined my relationship anyway. And
I'm telling you, crazy people will find a way to follow you. My ex is proof of that.
And the thing is,
the guy that when I found out he was 6 feet under, I went, woo!
And sorry. And the other thing, let me continue. She's been like going after my ass for like nearly a decade for what? Like, and then try to ruin my reputation, my career. And you know what? I'm getting tired of her trying to go bash on me every time, thinking, "Oh, I'm ugly or balding," and she's just like thinking, "Oh, no women will like Shiny because he's like that." Do I look like that? No, because you really see my face. I don't look like that.
Yeah.
You gotta stop listening to a damn thing these dumbasses say.
Yeah, the thing is,
I say that with love. You hyperfixate too much on the stupid shit the fuckers say. Just tell them to go fuck off and pave sand.
And the thing is, look, my thing for sure is I'm not replying to any of these clowns. That's all I could do.
Damn it! Stop seizing up in the middle of a damn firefight.
And all I could tell you one thing for sure, this my former friend, why she's that crazy, because she doesn't want me to be with other women because she basically secretly want me for herself.
Gotcha.
I have a feeling she wants me for herself.
Or she's just a bitch. That's also always possible. Some women are just bitches who like to try to destroy people.
Yeah, she didn't want to destroy me because she wanted me to do is she wanted to get a reputation at the same time. She wanted me to submit to her. Huh. That's the thing. I'm not submitting to no crazy
Psychologically speaking, that's why pretty much everyone does horrible shit to another person. They want to exude power over them. Yeah. Now, whether that's sexual or not, that's up for debate depending on the person, but it's always a power thing. The thing is, most relationship crimes, most sex crimes, most stalking, most stuff like that have nothing to do with sex and attraction. They have to do completely with power.
Yeah.
Yes, true. And the thing is,
that's why a large part of it is man, because it's a power domination,
And the thing is, like,
son of a bitch.
The only thing I could say is, like, I could say this for sure that why she's been, controlling with power, because the thing is, I could blame her mom because her mom's been controlling to her a lot. That's why.
Well, yes and no, you can blame her mom because yes, there's an amount of it that nature versus nurture, all of that shit, but you also make a fucking choice. If you become the monster that harmed you, then you're now the monster and it's your fucking fault.
She learned it from somewhere.
And the thing is, it's like I have a feeling that why she never had a dad after her father died after the age of 3. Like, the thing is, she never had a stepfather. She never had a father figure to look over her. That's the problem.
Just an evil mother.
Mm-hmm. But look, I'm just saying, like, if I have my own kid, and if I end up becoming a single dad, the only thing is I'm not gonna make him or her be like that way. I'm just like see how it goes and try to see not to get into so much danger. That's what I say.
The thing is, and I say this with respect.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta just learn to completely fucking ignore it all. Quit mentioning them, quit talking about them, and just sit there and have fun.
That's true.
Because this is somebody who cares about you. You hyper focus on this shit. The conversations like almost always go back to it. I understand completely, but I'm telling you, fuck them. Don't even give them attention. Don't even give them the light of day.
And the thing is, look, they're just clowns. Like, all I can say is, I don't have time to respond to these clowns. That's all I can say. Well,
what I'm saying is, even these conversations, if you have them too often, whether you're responding or not, it still puts it in you that negative energy.
Yeah.
And that's something you get with wisdom. It's something you get with age. It's something I'm only learning now to really kick that habit. It's really easy to get hyper focused on the people who pissed you off or wronged you and keep talking about them, not because you care what they think or anything, but because it's easy to rant and be pissed.
The thing is, I just want them to shut up. But the only way to make them shut up, just don't interact with them. That's all I've been doing.
Well, yeah.
So let's talk about something fun.
Yeah. Besides,
like Kurtzman not getting his contract renewed.
I mean,
no, apparently they have informed. No, we are not renewing this contract.
Yeah. To be honest, we
might talk a bit, once the thing is done, but pretty much no, we're not renewing this contract as it stands right now.
Fucker.
Yeah. And besides,
Kurtzman just is a window licker who apparently lost his window.
There's a reason why Strange New World's 5th season is only 6 episodes.
Yeah. But anyways, I don't mind fun dramas.
And get down with it.
To be honest, I don't mind fun dramas, but I don't want no negative agitative dramas. Like, if I want to see any fun dramas,
will you change the subject?
Yes, we've already moved on.
True. I'm just saying. I'm talking about what fun dramas we could talk about, man. Fun dramas.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Kurtzman about to be fired.
Any other fun dramas?
Kurtzman is an idiot. He is literally that person you give a job to because you don't want him on the streets looking strangers.
Well, the Akiva Goldman talking about, we can go beyond it. We can, start going into the original series. No, you're not. Because you're not going to be going any further.
Touch the original series. Fuck you. You're not touching the original series.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, because you touch my original series, this shit's on, and you're going to find out the bitch.
It's war at that point. It's like
Let's put it this way, Bob. How much of a Trek fan am I?
Shall I expand out here to see? Look at just the books on my shelf.
No, I'm talking about me specifically. You know me better than others on this topic.
Yeah.
How much of a Trek fan am I?
Huge. Yeah.
Which is my favorite series?
Original.
How protective am I of Kirk?
Yeah.
More than Shatner, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, geez.
That you don't mess with the original series with this chica, okay?
Yeah, and they've already come close enough as it is. What the hell's going on over here?
But anyways.
This means war.
But anyways, I'm just gonna say this. People need to see something fun. I've seen some fun VTuber
You're an idiot
dramas.
guy. Okay, there.
Like, for example, they were basically, talking about drawings of Fuda. My God. It's funny about that. But like, I don't want to go too far with the action they say about the drawings, but the thing is like one VTuber, one get like, let's say when I have fun with a drawing of herself being having fun with a Fuda version of a VTuber.
I'm still trying to figure that whole thing out.
Well, let's just look at it this way. You've got somebody sitting in South Korea who's facing criminal charges for doing deep fakes of him with a known streamer over there.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
He thinks he's going to get out of South Korea with all the shit that he's pulled. He's delusional.
Which one, Somali or Paul?
That would be him, especially considering the fact that he recorded himself sexually assaulting the statues in memory of the women who were sexual victims of the war.
Yeah.
To be honest, Somali is basically a hoodweeb.
Yeah, but he's not the only one. They're all over different Asian countries harassing them doing this shit.
Yeah.
You got you got Somali, you've got a whole bunch of them, and some of them are facing really serious criminal charges for the shit they're doing now.
Yeah. And
they take nuisance streaming a lot more serious in those countries.
Yeah.
And the thing is, these type of streams, it's basically rewarding bad behavior to make others to do the same thing as well.
Oh, it is, which is why they have to be hard on these guys. They have to throw the book at them to prevent more of this shit.
Just like people need to learn not to copy behavior. But here's the thing: these nuisance streamers is enabled to create more nuisance streamers to cause problems. That's the problem.
No, Peter, you're not interfering with my fishing. God, all I want to do is just catch a damn fish. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
Leave me the fuck alone.
But the thing is with nuisance streamers, they're the ones who just, want to cause a problem. They want drama.
Because that means clicks. There we go.
Yeah.
Because they literally have no regard for human life.
Yeah.
All right.
You do know that a lot of these fake alpha manosphere guys are being outed for having actual documented convicted criminal backgrounds for not just assault but sexual assault on children and other shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I know Tate is one of the issues, which we don't want to.
What's his name? Freaking goes by like some sort of king in his name, and he was actually
Charlemagne the God or what?
No.
Just don't mention his name. Just better say king or something,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He goes through some stupid king thing in his name. He was actually proven his criminal background because he did admit that he was in prison before. His criminal background was tracked down by investigators, and yeah, he was actually prisoned for violent sexual assault of a 15-year-old.
Yeah, and
he's out there trying to make himself out to be some innocent victim.
Yeah, and
this is another Peter Griffin moron.
And then you got Wes Watson, who's on his way to jail for violent assault to somebody on camera in the gym.
Another Peter Griffin moron, isn't it?
Yeah.
What the hell?
This is the thing: is the manosphere is nuclear, it is destroying itself because they're all getting outed.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't like to belong to any group. I just want to be on my own, enjoy what I want to do.
That's 2 Peter Griffins in a row.
And the thing is, Do I want to be in any group to be associated with these people and thinking, oh, Shiny is associated with the manosphere? No, I'm not associating with this type of people. I'm not associating with any feminists. I'm just want to be on my own,
Where the hell's the rest of the
Yes and no. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
There are people in our community who are the mild and centrist version of both of those sides.
Yeah.
It's the extremist wings or the opposite wings of the same shitbird. They're bigots. They're horrible.
Yeah.
The manosphere also technically classifies people who are MRA, which is literally just fighting for male rights in family courts and against violent assault and stuff like that. Yeah, I support that.
Yeah, I support that.
Anybody with a conscience should support that. Every victim should have a voice, no matter what their gender, age, or anything else.
And to be honest, these people who've been, being fixated on like thinking, oh, the grapes and all this stuff, they've been fixating on so much, not safe for work material like pornography, like I was saying before, but I don't want to say too much about it,
On this page, on this site, am I back my channel? Go ahead, Warren.
Yeah. Basically,
do we want to count how many videos I have dedicated to Indie in one playlist? Come on.
Yeah, I'm
just
put
up another one.
I'm just saying they got fixated on that fixated on porn because the thing is they're the ones who've been fantasizing all this stuff and they're thinking, oh, they gotta do that, they worry about they gotta do that, but yet they're the ones who fetishize it.
Well, see, the thing is the hypocrisy in a lot of those people, because a lot of those people who are shutting everything down now, who have every website so sanitized you can't write stories and poems about a lot of shit because it's automatically flagged and not allowed. Do you realize how much of history's greatest poetry and greatest poets would be removed by those filters?
Yeah.
How much of history in literature and poetry is about dark ass shit happening to people?
Song of Solomon, anyone?
Fucking Lolita, for crying out loud.
Yeah. And people never learn from anything from Sodom and Gomorrah.
Well, like I said, Song of Solomon, anyone?
Yeah, well,
that entire book is filthy, and it's in the Bible.
I'm not talking about sexual filth here completely. I'm talking about the fact that they're said you can't write things about essay. You can't write things about this. You can't write things about this. You can't write things about this.
It's basically great material.
You can't publish any of this stuff on any sites. But yet, what is most of poetry? Shakespeare, his poems involved anything from self-deletion to dealing with sexual assault to loss to other stuff. You look at Maya Angelou built her career on writing poetry about the fact that she grew up in a place where she was constantly sexually abused as a child.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, most of the greats of history in literature and poetry wrote about the darkest, dankest shit that can possibly happen to any human.
Yeah. And the thing is, look.
By modern standards, we can start quoting a certain passage from Hamlet, and it's like, I've violent things. Like,
The thing is, people need to stop, using their fears and fantasies, thinking, oh, this one. But the point is, do I look like a person who's just gonna do something wrong? No. My thing is I'm just, a person who gets bored sometimes. There's nothing much to do, but sometimes I just want to play a game or just want to relax and all this stuff,
Gotta find a car.
Yeah.
This is conversation, though. This is an actual issue I've been trying to get people to understand. When they do this, when they talk about sanitizing, when they talk about cleaning up, when they talk about, this is a bad thing, you shouldn't say this. Well, you know who generally writes about that stuff the most? Survivors, victims.
That's true.
People trying to learn how to deal with it. People dealing with dark memories. People dealing with trauma. When you start sanitizing and saying, you can't talk about this, it's offensive, you're sanitizing and removing the voices of people who need a place to express it.
Yeah, and that's
the point. And who have certain things they want to import upon other people. Say, don't be like this. Learn from my experience.
Yeah.
Don't fall for this. Holy shit.
Yeah.
The things I wish I knew 20-some years ago.
Yeah.
And here's the thing I'm saying. Censoring that type of stuff, it's kind of really stupid. Same thing with video games. Like, look, if people want to see how life it is, then they shouldn't be doing this type of stuff.
Violent people are going to exist no matter what you do.
We are
even
violent,
if they
we're
are
a violent species.
The rare exceptions, and there are rare exceptions where they get inspired by these kinds of entertainment.
Yeah.
They're going to be violent anyways. If they're not inspired by this, they'll come up with something else to inspire them. Whereas most people who do this stuff, who play these games, who do this, who read these kinds of dark entertainment, use it as an outlet so they don't go dark.
Yeah. Like the odds of me actually going out there and dressing up like Batman and shooting people up with a rifle are kind of low. Okay.
And then to be honest, I use my.
And not just because my only good Batman suit went bye-bye a long time ago.
Even though if I do my fan fiction, I just use it as an outlet.
Worked up one time. I
create an original Pokemon fan fiction, which it's a lot to say about my original Pokemon fan fiction. It's like there's like no minors got sexually involved, to be honest, which is a good thing because I don't want minors involved in the story, to be honest.
Okay, I need to check.
People just need to realize that life is not that simple. It is not that basic. I literally made a post explaining the damage and harm in censoring things and making things too taboo, and how if you make people afraid to speak out because they're into certain communities or into certain kinks or into certain sexualities, then you actually make it hard for people who are being victimized or abused to get help. The first thing comments I get from people, this is bedroom conversation. Why are you going to talk about that? Oh, yes, I always talk about victims trying to get help in the bedroom. That's such a turn on.
Yeah.
No, the only thing they heard is fetish, kink, communities. And they went, oh, and then laughed at, no, we're trying to make sure that these people can get help if they're victims. Well, you're talking about people that are into kink. It's like, and? That doesn't mean they're not human.
Yeah, it's like, your reaction is more about you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the point is, like, do I really care very much if they're into these type of stuff?
All right, let me check the quest here.
What we need to do is understand that, yes, we shouldn't have people parading it around in front of everybody. We also shouldn't have people being shamed for their sexualities.
Yeah.
Ever.
Okay.
Because if you're making people afraid to be public with what they're into or what's been done to them, then you are making sure that nobody who's a victim will ever have the ability to come forward.
Yeah.
They're going to be too afraid.
You gotta be afraid. That's the thing.
And that is extremely dangerous for so many reasons.
Yeah. And this is why when I see stuff that like this, I realize to make sure I don't do the same exact actions as what these other people do. I just basically learn from it. And the thing is, look, if people think, oh, we're the bad guys here for enjoying this type of dark content and we end up becoming like these type of dark people, no. To be honest, we learn from this just like video games in other forms of fiction. Like, I don't give a damn if, let's say for sure that if a game has like dark theme, to be honest.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me. What does bother me, and what I do think is a warning flag with people who consume this stuff, I'm very into true crime, but there's limits of what I think is creepy. Like the people who talk about their favorite true crime, and they get really obsessed with how somebody was killed.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm aware of.
It's like, oh, no. You can be fascinated by true crime from a psychological standpoint. You can consume it because it helps you understand other humans. You can even be fascinated by what happened. But when you start having favorites and hyper-focusing in an almost excited way on what was done to another human, that's where you cross a line. There's nothing wrong with being obsessed with true crime and understanding human psychology. There is something wrong with fetishizing it.
Yeah.
And that one is, I've seen a lot of people say shit like that. And I just sit there and go, what the fuck is wrong with you?
That's a red flag worthy of a Red Square parade. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I've seen several people say comments like that.
Another one?
Where they go, my favorite true crime. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Now, if you'd said the story I found most fascinating when I was studying true crime was, that's a different conversation.
It's like I got to. definite fascination about the Jack the Ripper case, but like,
Yeah.
it's different from like saying, well, my favorite one of the victims was Mary Ann.
And even I'm gonna say things for sure with with the yandere genre. Like the thing is, I don't want to go too far with it, but I seen a lot of situations how yanderes do all the time. Like when they do things for their lover, even if they end up being psychotic, it's like, oh, they if they can't, if I can't have him, nobody can. Situation.
You know what's funny is I didn't think of a him moment there. I thought of Bastard screaming, "If I can't see her naked, no one can."
Yeah, same thing. That's a thing.
That was in the Bastard, the old one. I love that, actually. It cracked me up, but it's still twisted and fucked up to say. I mean,
just down there.
Yeah.
Where is that guy?
And the problem is, I don't give a damn if, let's say this, if they call me whatever name calls they gotta call me, I just don't care whatever word salad that, what people say to you or anyone. I'm just gonna not waste my time dealing with these clowns, to be honest.
Well, you also shouldn't give them free rent in your head either. So.
Yeah, because I don't. And the thing is, they're the ones giving me free rent, not me.
You're still talking about we tried to change something 3 times.
I'm just telling you whatever clowns on the internet they do, to be honest. The thing is, look, we don't have time with clowns a lot, to be honest. If they want to clown out people they don't like, just keep it to themselves. That's all I can say.
Clowns are left of me. Jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle. Whoop, too far.
Can I ask a question here, Shiny? This is more of a personal forgetting. How old are you again?
Well, I'm kind of like, a little older than Mr. Anime. I mean, a little older than Anime Night.
Damn it, hold still, you son of a bitch.
That gives quite a gap since Anime is most of a decade younger than me.
Yeah. But the thing is,
I'm going to tell you, psychologically, when it comes to how to deal with people and the crap and the drama, there's quite a bit of a break in your brain between early mid-30s to 40s. Those few years, they help snap a little of that apart where you just start going, fuck your drama and don't even respond to them.
Yeah.
I have learned very much the art of soft mocking, followed by a block, followed by never acknowledge them again, never talk about them again.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm getting sick of tired of, how the drama community taking a lot of clout away from us. Like, look, I want my views, I want my subs and my likes. I want people to interact. But what happened is nobody want to interact on my streams. Nobody want to give a like on my video.
If you talk about the drama and the clout and stuff this much, people will tune out.
Yeah.
While you can clout farm to a certain degree, both as the ones going for clout and as the ones calling them out, that only lasts for a short period.
Yeah.
Soon, everybody looks at your streams and goes, "Oh, you're still talking about the person who said something bad about you." Okay, I'm done.
Not really. I just want to have fun on my streams without any drama.
Well, that's why I'm doing this stuff.
Yeah. And the thing is, these people who just basically don't want to have a fun stream. Look, for me, they care about the drama rather than watching me having fun, or watching you having fun. I'm just saying.
All right, so these are the last 2 V-Buck grabs we've been doing this battle pass.
And what's the point? They'd rather see drama than seeing people having fun.
Now look at life as a gladiatorial sport. Yeah. And we're in the ring with the lions. So.
Yeah. Look.
So I got to level up 2 more times.
I just got tired of drama. That's all I could say.
Yeah, I'm not doing a team up still.
And I don't want to see a lot of negative stuff on my feed. Say, oh, do I care about this person? Did something wrong and this and that? Like, man, nobody cares. I'm just saying.
Talk to a character. That's easy enough. I'm not doing a boss fight. Not with these hitches. My luck will freeze just as I'm doing the killing shot, and then nope, you got it in because you just sit there. Okay. All right, let's see if I can get to them. If I can get to Spawn Island, then I can plot a line here.
But anyways,
No, I'm
yeah.
Because the whole thing about people, why don't you do this indie shit? Well, one, I'll be honest, the indie shit has a kind of. Okay, Rosetta's got to bail out, I think, for a while, so.
Yeah.
Got things to do.
Thing is, I'm more a person who like to stream for fun. Like, I would like people to talk about good stuff, not like the dramas, all the stuff. Like, look, if it's a fun drama, okay. Like, if they want to talk about, oh, Shiny has many wives on his side, but like, oh my god. Or look, or anything that's goofy, to be honest, which is a fun drama. But not like these high school tier dramas, Because this is why I don't like high school tier dramas, because...
Well, some people never graduate high school.
Or miss high school.
Well, they peaked and that's it. They think, they never really have gotten over it. And it's like, it's over with, right? You're no longer...
Yeah.
You're no longer part of the cool clique. Okay, you're not at the hot table anymore. Nobody gives a shit.
And the thing is, these people, they keep trying to cause drama on the internet. Like, they just want to do it for clicks. That's the number one point.
Why does it do this?
So, besides, look, life is short, but people would like to have fun with it. Have.
All right, let's talk to her. Why is it doing this bounty cam thing all of a sudden? I don't understand when it starts doing that.
Yeah. But anyways. For me, I just don't want to deal with a lot of people and try and fight, try and defend other people for whatever nonsense drama I see.
Yeah.
So the thing is, man, look, I have things to focus on, but look, if they don't like here's the thing, I'd rather just play the waiting game instead of, jumping to conclusions,
Yeah.
Because, look, if I see someone, did something outrageous, I just wait till anything is true. And that's it.
Okay. Okay, it's
funny. I saw this meme. It says, defund the police. We can police our own communities, and Rittenhouse is policing his own community.
Yeah.
It's funny.
And what is it generally? Police. So why aren't you policing your community? It's a fucking hellhole.
Yeah.
Yeah. If this is your idea of policing your own community, fucking send in the National Guard.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's the point. Do we need to give a fuck about, what they do? If they don't care about police and people become their own police. Look.
Well, back in the Old West, they had, oh, there we go. Back in the Old West, you had these, their own policing, mainly because there wasn't enough police there yet. Society was still just starting at that point, so then we didn't. So they had what was called vigilance committees.
Yeah,
that's where we got the term. That's where we got the term vigilante.
Yeah,
Denver had a lot of them. It was quite, normal to see, people just strung up along the banks of Cherry Creek.
Yeah.
Who I found and run afoul of the vigilance committees.
And people never learned things before we have police.
And it's a case of, they weren't wrong. Usually they were scalawags, but we don't have a court system out here yet.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a case of do you have anything to say before we find you guilty?
Yeah. Right now, I'm just setting up for my stream in a couple of minutes, so I'm just gonna be streaming an app game, to be honest.
All right.
Which is basically it's a horse girl game.
Oh, okay.
But still,
gotta find a car. Or actually, I don't need a car.
Yeah, but later on, I might think about trying to stream Fortnite somehow anyway.
All right. Gotta do a recharge on this one.
But for now, next month I just gotta pay off $200 on the other artist because she needs to just basically realize, look, I can't make that much money at the moment, because I need my money for myself and to have fun anyway. Besides, I'm just cutting my money on gaming a lot because like games are getting so expensive. Do I need a Switch too? Not really. Like I have the Steam Deck and I have a PC, so do I need that?
What the hell? It might be a little embarrassing to fire it up, but
so
God, this thing's intense. All right.
So Rosetta had left because she has something important, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, but anyways,
stuff to do.
But anyways, I'm just saying. To be honest, it's like,
what passes for my Batmobile? Okay.
Like to be honest, like look, not everyone needs a Switch 2 or anything. It's just like look,
no, God, no.
Like I'll get the Switch 2 later when I have the money. That's the thing. But I told my artists, look, they did a good job, but I'm gonna start letting some of them go. To be honest, because look, I need my money for myself. Just save up for emergencies and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And not just only save up for emergencies, just want to have fun as well. If I want to go on to the blue Twitch and just have fun with those girls, thing. I'm not gonna do it like every time. I'm just gonna be doing once in a while.
Well, I'll tell you right now, my current little thing with this video with Indy.
Yeah.
Or about Indy, rather.
Yeah.
They've done a change of terms of service.
Yeah.
And one of the things they're getting rid of the really intense furries.
Yeah, the furries need to realize. Look, they shouldn't be praising the banks over. Oh, get rid of lollies, but the problem is like, the furries are going to end up next.
I mean, it's not going to affect her. The most Indie does is like ears of the tail. That's stuff that they want. It's the ones who do full fursuits and shit and go really weird. But one thing that does affect her is going to be use of intoxicating substances on camera, and they cite marijuana and one on her tip menu was $42. You hit the bong.
So no weed,
no weed, nothing. But
Yeah.
And her problem is that's a good contingent of her live streams has that in there.
And to be honest, like I don't know what's with the situation that they think, having drugs in the live stream or getting drunk is an offense, but like
it's encouraging that kind of behavior, and it's not legal everywhere. So
yeah, I get it, but the thing is, if they're grown adults, the minors shouldn't be going on those sites. To be honest,
yeah. Well, again, even legal adult, it's like that's no guarantee you're actually an adult.
Yeah.
Oh, hi there. But it's like they're just, I think she thinks the banks are pressuring the good, I think, but it doesn't matter. They're doing it regardless.
Yeah, it's all because of banks. And, I have a feeling the banks might end up having their karma sooner or later.
There we go.
But,
well, her problem is that now they're giving them a week to, do something about their material there, whatever. Well, she's been on there for years.
Is it the VTuber?
No, she's working on doing a VTuber thing. She got his character that she's had for years, and she's trying to do a VTube thing with it. I don't think she's quite got the idea of what they do, though.
Yeah.
But the thing is, she's got years of material. The thing is, they're not exactly being helpful. They're not going to archive anything. It's like what anything. But I have a website I've been using that catalogs. It's some kind of archive thing that for both Fansly and OnlyFans. Thousands of girls.
I can't say
literally thousands. Literally thousands of girls got, and including her.
Yeah.
And they just updated today. They have everything she's ever done on Fansly.
Yeah.
Up until 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think. Look, you want to save all your material? Talk to me. Take the fucking block off. Recognize I am not your fucking enemy. I'm trying to help you, dumb idiot. I mean, she's a brilliant girl, but it's like in some cases that you're a moron. Okay, fucking wake up and listen to your goddamn elders for once. I'm trying to help you save your stuff. Okay.
Yeah. People need
just
to save their
unblock
stuff.
me. I can send you a link. We can start downloading now. Okay?
Yeah.
She's got 22 pages of.
Yeah, the thing is, if I'm
posts on there, so come on.
Yeah, the thing is, if you have Fansly, just be aware, not don't do the thing is, you just want to enjoy, but don't try to do in situations I get it, I know if it's for fictional material, one thing, but if it's real life girls, nah. If you're married or whatever.
Well.
But yet, the thing is, the way if to be honest, women gets jealous of other women. Well, the point is, they need to put their A game on. To be honest.
Well. Something Nina Hartley pointed out way back. You need to have a very good sense of yourself to get into this business. And not if you don't have that kind of real good sense of your own identity, your own self, don't get in it, because if you're just trying to deal with your personal issues, you're in the wrong damn place, because this thing will eat you alive.
Yeah, and the thing is, if I have some female hater who's jealous of me, and not jealous of me, jealous of other girls that they want to be like her. Thing is, they need to drop their act, and that's it. Anyway. Drop their act, maybe spend your time looking at my content more than just, looking what's on social media.
I had a car here.
Well, I just don't put my not safe for work links on my link tree because I don't want them to find out.
There's the car. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Come on, you. No, one guy suggested, why don't you put all the indie stuff on another channel or something? And I thought about it. It's like, well, okay, let's plot this out a bit, and realized, well, one, it's actually done fairly well for the channel. I shot up 100 subs when I started doing the stuff here, but also I can't do it on Fansly because I'd out myself over there, and
I can't. The only thing,
but also I can't do it on OnlyFans because the thing is, one of their terms of service, they own the material.
Yeah, for me,
they're not going to own any of my videos. I don't care what it is.
The thing is, while I'll do them on OnlyFans, I've just got to post random stuff, not showing my sausage.
Well, I know it'd be one of the exception that proves. Yeah, it's not because technically no, it's not. OnlyFans is not a porn site. They just don't have any restrictions.
The thing is, I'm just
human beings being very horny, little bastards. Everything tends to porn. Everything.
If they want me to see my wiener, they could consent or basically they could pay me, of course.
Well, the thing is, there are pornographic, cave drawings going back 5,000 years.
Yeah.
Okay? We like looking at naked pictures. Okay. That's why it's ban porn. You can't ban pornography. Okay.
Yeah, you can't ban anything because
we'll make our own. It's we'll draw it ourselves. It's just the way we are. We're a perverted six species. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, women need to stop being jealous over other women. Also, not to be jealous over fictional characters.
Well, it's people in general. It's and that's the thing of you better have a good, strong sense of yourself, or you're gonna have problems.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoopsie. Someone's.
But anyways, I'm about to get ready to stream soon, but I'm just gonna set my links up. Just give me a moment.
Alrighty.
Because setting my links up, and I got 23 followers on Kick, and I got 21 followers on Twitch.
Yeah.
Gonna go onto my dashboard. Before that, I'm just gonna get my link.
Okay, what do we got here? Already been here. And clearly I need to move the car because it's not sitting. Oh, we stop it already. There. All right.
But I just let my haters talk about me, but I don't have time to just, to react or to basically, react to them or anything. I'm just keep things in check, like keep things to myself, like they're like screenshots of their posts and comments, and that's it,
Yeah.
If anything happens, I just make sure, the authorities know how crazy my haters are, then they're not gonna be, going near to me anymore anyway. But the only thing is, what's gonna happen to these people who are doing this type of stuff? They'll end up gonna dig through the secret Discord servers. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Because if they have secret Discord servers that they harass other people, we get the point. And Zuckerberg, I don't know why they're not taking down any bullying accounts. Same thing with Blue Sky.
Yeah.
But the only thing.
Well, Blue Sky is Twitter about 5-6 years ago, before Elon came in.
Yeah. And the thing is,
and the same kind of toxic environment, only it's just them now. There's nobody there to push back.
Yeah. The only thing I could tell, one thing for sure with Twitter, well, in my opinion, like I'm not saying Twitter, Blue Sky, in my opinion, I'm just saying they only do like a soft ban, like a label, like if you're posting anything that's like, rage baiting, whatever, it'll be on the root or something,
Yeah.
Because that's the only moderation team that do. There shouldn't be, they can't ban them, but they're just gonna soft ban them, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. We're going to do the old tactical. Let them kill each other.
Yeah.
Yep, down to 5.
But
let them come find me. Yeah.
As much as I'm done with messing. I'm done with these people with a lot of clowns.
Yeah.
Want to mess with me on the internet? Like, why do I care if they think I'm the bad guy? Which they're the bad guys themselves. Huh?
Yeah, I know.
Because like,
come on, let me see a menu here.
Like, if they don't like me, well, what's the point? They're wasting their time to go to me. Like, why'd they go to my page?
I said, I just take the Dave Chappelle thing. I was just like, you know that? Hey, you clicked on my face, bitch. Okay.
Yeah, it's like they click on my face, but they don't want to.
I'm doing what I want on my channel. You don't like it. You know the way out.
Yeah, and even if they don't even follow me, they just basically stalk.
Yeah. I said on the getting back to the indie thing, I had enough people. It's like white 90%. It's like, really. You think I really give a shit what somebody said about me online? Come on.
Yeah.
These people are like, you won the internet. You won nothing, asshole.
And even if they throw word salad against me, it doesn't work at me anymore.
Okay, this car's too beat up. I'm going to change around.
I'm just saying, word salad, name calling, it's not going to work at me anymore, to be honest.
Well, it's like I come from a time when there was no internet. Therefore, this really doesn't mean much to me. Okay?
Yeah.
It's a means of communication. It's not the world,
Yeah.
Ooh, is this a gas station? No. No, just a red. No, it's one thing. Oh,
Just give me one moment. Let me check on their back, anyways, and let me check how my cat's doing.
All right. No. All right. We will swap that. Actually, no, we will swap that for that. Asshole! God damn it! Move, you fuck! Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see how we're about here. Okie dokie.
Back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my cat's still in the hospital anyway.
All right.
The thing is, I don't know what's going on with hers, because, you know.
Okay, I still got a ways to go there. So we got, okay, I got the dailies. Weeklies. Huh. You better be a hell of a shotgun. Okay. Did I ever get that one? Let's get that out of the way. Okay. Someone's excited. Okay, island or straight to the bus or plummeting over the ocean? Okay, actually went to the ocean. Up for about 2 seconds. Okay. All right. Close enough. Now would be nice. Yes, that is a rare chest. And crypto. And shotgun. Okay. All right, hold on. Right. All right, that's enough of that. All right. You bitch. All right. Okay, so let's try it again. Did I kill that off? Not quite. There's some more stuff out here. All right, now let's try that again now. Okay, with it being way up there, hopefully this time I won't be such a sweat lodge.
Right. Well, okay, now I'm gonna copy and paste on other social media platforms in case. Because I don't wanna go waste my time. You know, I'm just gonna say this. I've been living rent free on these people who just don't wasting their time on me and just, not gonna do anything about these haters because, like, the more they keep doing this, well, more people will come to me and they'll see how I'm not a bad person.
Yeah.
Huh? I'm just saying, it's like if I want to prove myself, don't react. Just basically,
don't rise to the bait. Just do what you do and let them figure it out.
Yeah. Even if I'm in the con, I'm just not gonna care anyways, since I'm just gonna enjoy my fun. But I'm not gonna post any pics like on the same day of the con because I just wait 3 days after and that's it anyway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You do it after the con's over. That would no one can do anything about it.
Yeah.
Done is done. Con's over. You missed it. Sorry. Of course, there's somebody else showing up there.
Yeah. That's why I don't tell where I go anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of lowering, the.
And the thing is, like, if they care about what con I'm going to and they don't want me to go to cons or work with them, trying to make some extra money, what's their problem? I'm not doing any harm or anything. I'm just like, look,
okay,
I just want to have fun with people.
Something that shoots. Okay, give me that. All right.
But if I ever see Mars Girl in real life, I'm just gonna confront her. Like, the thing is, I'm just gonna confront her and tell her, look, quit talking shit about me, and then.
Well, she's another one of those that never graduated high school.
Yeah. Or she missed high school. Because, people have been missing high school a lot because they miss having the drama and all that stuff.
Closure. Thank you. All right. Hope, where the hell are you? Down one level. There we go. Hi. You bitch. Now, you want to try that again? Nice, you to totally ignored the cam going around you. Okay, all right. About.
But look, the only thing I could reply if people aren't being immature trolls, just trying to talk to me like in a goofy sense or a logical reason.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they're trying to wrong me with their opinions, I'm just gonna counter them back,
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah. Okay. All right, got that done. Mind if I check your closet? No. Okay. Say hi to Jones. Hi, Jones. Okay.
No. So I'm gonna go. But I'm just done with, I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna post anything on Discord or anything because, I'm just gonna take a break from Discord for a while.
I haven't even been on Discord in God knows how long. I can't figure it out anyway.
Yeah, because I'm just avoiding a lot of, let's say, drama lately because unlike DC, like, cause the thing is, what's with the drama community? Always try to be so popular and want to get clout from everyone. Like,
well, in a way, it's the drama community is just the theater kids. Well, in a way, it really is.
these theater kids, they just ruin everything for me because I just want people to see me having fun and chill. No, we don't want you to see you having fun and chill. We want them to see our drama.
It's a bunch of damn drama queens that can't. The world doesn't revolve around them. So.
Yeah, I might make a video about this because look, these people need to learn to just shut up about people they don't like, this stuff. Because like, man, like life is short. Enjoy what they can, like.
Yeah.
Not everything will last forever, to be honest.
Yeah. I need some shields. That's it. Yeah. And actually, I think. No, I do need something with pistols. So hold on. We'll swap the shotgun.
I'm just gonna change it to 10 because I'm just gonna be playing on a mobile app game on my PC. Nothing much.
Yeah. When is this gonna unlock? That's I don't want to know.
But tomorrow, I'm not sure if I'm gonna take my bike around because of the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, it's gonna rain during the morning, so I'm not gonna worry. Friday evening, because I just want to go to the gym early, nothing much.
Yeah.
And get back home in the evening, just enjoy a certain stream of one of my favorite Oshis during the evening.
Mm-hmm.
But I really want to work more days or a little more hours if I want to work less days. Like would want to work, with. I don't mind like working out like around 11 in the morning or 10 in the morning. Because 10 in the morning, I can agree on that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
I'd just rather pack my food early and that's it anyway.
Whoops. Let's try that again.
Be right back. Gotta use the bathroom since
okay.
I'm almost done setting up, right?
All right. Where are we at here? Time. Was that last game I was in here? Okay. It can get confusing if you use the same location twice in the same. Come on up. Oh, there are stairs up here. No, not really. Yeah, I knew I was going to find more. Second, I paid for them. That looks suspiciously like they're about to launch something. Oh, hi. Actually, here. Yo, Blue, when are they going to fix your cape? You got the wrong cape. Okay. Okay. At the very least. At least with the Batman scheme, he's not acting like he has no idea who you are. He's like, oh yeah, I'll tell you what I know. Well, there we go. No, I'm fine with what I got. However, I look at that though. I'm excited. I'm nowhere near getting A, so no point sticking around. And it's still going to be a ways. Oh, hell. Don't mind if I borrow your car, do you? Okay. Oh, forgot this. Anywhere we're not going to get shot at? Right, hold on. You're going to be doing that. I'm going to park on the other side here. Got like 6 headshots in a row. What else we got here? No. Did okay in shields on that one. Mother puss bucket son of a bitch. Bitch. All right. And close to leveling up here. I'm going to go back to the lobby here because I'm going to go to the bathroom myself. So, right. Throw a video up in the meantime. Yeah, almost there. So let's just put a pause on this. Is rocking. I think Raquel said she was getting on. Or not. I saw something with just a Fortnite related post. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pull that down for now. And let's pull a little something from the Graveyard of Forgotten Favorites.
Well, my cat's in the hospital, so you know the animal hospital because of her breathing issue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I got to hit the bathroom myself here, so I was going to throw up a video.
Yeah.
In there any time.
So how long are you going to be finished the stream? Like?
Oh, I don't know. It might be a while. So at least get at least one, a couple more level up here to clear out the V-Bucks of that battle pass.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. And I don't want to keep you from your own streams. I got, you know.
Yeah, I'm just making sure everything ready before I'll stream soon. Anyway.
All right.
And besides,
okay, let's continue theme. I've been playing my history of Star Trek videos.
yeah. But anyways,
like this, so.
like like I have to do things tomorrow morning. You know, just I want to do a stream before I go to bed. You know.
Yeah. Okay, like I said, I got to go to the bathroom here, so.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a bit of a pause in the action here while we get that up.
I don't know what's my niece crying.
Whoop. Okay. Second minute. Okay, something I need to really get back into here. When last we left off, we had just gotten up to through the movies, but that overlaps with a little something here because the movies are going great, and so 1986 goes around. The 20th anniversary of the show is coming up, and one consistent thing, all the fans, writers are going into Paramount, where when are you doing another Star Trek TV show? Even back then, it was not. No, this is a TV property. It works property on TV. Movies are fine. We want a TV show. And again, this because Phase 2 fizzled out. There's other stuff. And so finally, they figured, okay, enough time's gone by. That's right. We're going to do a new Star Trek TV show. But we do need to get Gene Roddenberry's blessing on this. They knew that much. Even though it's like having him on as executive consultant, even though they barely listened to him, they did have to give the movies a sense of legitimacy. They had to have his name in there somewhere, even if he was actively sabotaging them at times. He leaked scripts because he didn't like that he had killed Spock. He leaked the script out. That sort of thing. So, and the scripts are all numbered. So yeah, who number had that number script? That was Roddenberry. Yeah. But they knew they needed him on board in some capacity. So they're telling, okay, this is what we have in mind for a new Star Trek show. And the idea they had in mind was, new Enterprise, for they get sell new toys, but also they're going to have cadets running the thing, going out there, getting in trouble, causing misadventures. And Roddenberry has always been opposed to that sort of thing because he was in the military. He didn't go to the academy, but he went to an OCS program, and he knows your cadets are at the academy. They're learning to become officers. You don't send cadets out. You send experienced officers to do this type of thing. But that's why he's always rejected the idea of a Starfleet Academy show, because this is what they'll do. They'll do Animal House in space. He kind of came back with their ideas about, well, no, God, no, please. I could do better than that right now. And he was retired pretty much at that point. He had settled into doing conventions and trying to his hand at writing other stuff. Because he said in an interview with Starlight, he didn't want Star Trek written on his tombstone. Okay. But as a major point, they kept at it. Okay, well, fine, it's my baby. I'm stuck with this. I might as well do something with it. But he had the mistake of saying, I could do better than you now. Better than that right now. And I said, would you? I was like, oops. He let his mouth, write a check that his ass had to catch. So, hash. So okay, fine. You got me. And he didn't want to do it again. Because, again, after the interview, he lost his family because of the first one. He couldn't control himself. He got dallying in with Majel and Michelle and God knows who else. Even going back to the lieutenant, he was fooling around with Michelle, with Majel. But by the end of the show, his marriage with Eileen had been gone. In Major already talking marriage at that point. By the time the third season rolled around, and it's I'm not going through that again. But it's like, but okay, what we're gonna do first run syndication. There won't be a network telling you what to do. You will be in charge. This will you will do it the way you want. Again, you're a big boy. You've been around long enough. We're going to trust you not to put go-go dances on the bridge. But that sort of thing. But okay, fine. And again, first run syndication was not a new thing. It had mainly been done with like game shows on primetime slots. Afternoon when the network's doing their thing. Well, nighttime version of match game PM they called it. They had the nighttime version of Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. That's everything. Like that's what I started. Those were daytime game shows originally. They didn't start prime. They were during the day. While other teams were running soap opera, then somebody was running game shows. But there had been some first run syndication dramas. Some, not many. And they generally went to like independent stations like Gentle Ben and stuff like that, Although even then, it's like very little first run drama. Mostly it was just sitcoms and talk shows. But they're okay. No, we're feeling a little better, because Star Trek's done in syndication where the stations can put it where they want it. They can target their audience and they'll go that route. And with that, okay, Roddenberry came back and he started putting together as much of the old band as he could. And again, a lot of it, let's clear the deck a little. He had to rely on a lot of people. But also by this point, the myth of the Great Bird of the Galaxy had taken full form by this point. So he was claiming a lot of credit that really wasn't due him. Now, whether this is just shorthand, saying we did this and this, because he did have to sign off on everything, but he didn't come up with a lot of it. A lot of it was, by Gene Coon and Matt Jeffries and others. But it's like, now you're having to deal with this because you tell the story enough times, you start to believe it. You kind of forget the details yourself. So he came in and he's kind of buying the myth himself that he's created of being the Great Bird of the Galaxy and the creator of all things Star Trek. So we're bringing back Bob Justman and Dorothy Fontaine and David Gerrold, and Eddie Milkus was in there for a while. And this is not quite the same guy they dealt with 20 years earlier. And also his own health was starting to fade. Cause by this point, he was starting to develop a little something called water, hydroencephalus, water on the brain. Where basically you get fluid buildup inside the brain, and it's like it does tend to affect things. He'd have good days, and other days it's like not so great, a little off there. Also, complicating the matter is, his lawyer Leonard Mazos, he'd been around back in the original series days. He wasn't that much of a presence. Now he inserted himself right in there. He was there during casting meetings and other things, and he had no business being there. He would write notes on scripts, claiming it was from Roddenberry. Difference is, it's going through Dorothy Fontana. She used to be a secretary. She knows damn well Gene's handwriting, knew it wasn't him. And he was and eventually landed him in a arbitration grievance with the Writers Guild and had him banned from the lot. I got that point. It was like in the documentary Chaos on the Bridge. Shatner's been really documentary. Talking to David Gerrold. And one point, so Mazos, and they're on like third floor of the building. And there's Mazos, and up against the window at the end of the hallway. And remember, one of the things writers do to kind of amuse themselves and keep them going totally nuts is imagine ways of killing their enemies in ways that they can get away with. They're imagining these things. They're using a story and stuff. Like Harlan Ellison, we used to name villains in his stories over the guys who picked on him as a kid. So he's seeing Mazos at the end of the hallway, and just the window there, and knowing there's nothing between them and the ground but like maybe a hedgerow, and like I could charge and throw him out there, and they'd give me a medal. Because everyone hated him by this point. But yeah, that's the kind of thing. Well, not a good environment because they're going thing, and you're going. But he's nailing that. Okay, you want to do this thing right. You got to, separate. You put about, it's about 78 years since Kirk and Spring all wrapped up. That gives the movies some time to wrap up whatever they're doing because they're by 80, 85, 86. We're talking Star Trek 3, 4, not Star Trek 4. So, but then by this point, they knew the original cast is too expensive and too old. Insurance isn't going to cover them. They're not going to pay that much just for the cast. So there's got to be a new show regardless, or a new cast. So that and Roddenberry wasn't much for no. It's not. Let's go forward. Let's keep going forward. So, this whole thing. What Star Trek is about going forward, going out and seeing what's going on. So set it not quite 100 years, but close enough. About 78 years after whenever Kirk and Spock are finished up. So we're talking 24th century. Technology is it's well beyond the 23rd century, but not so nuts. And his idea with the design of the Enterprise D, he called it technology unchained. Where it's it doesn't just have to be just form function. We can make the ship look like a piece of sculpture, and that's where you get the big swooping things. So. And again, a lot of this, I don't know how much of that, but again, in writing the Bible, the show's Bible, the writer's guide, David Gerald did a lot of that. Now, granted, a lot of things were also cut and pasted from the original Bible. Some things are consistent, but the character descriptions. Jean-Luc Picard, I think, started as Julien Picard. I think maybe because the name Jean-Luc Picard, that was actually one of Cousteau's associates, was named Jean-Luc Picard. I think there was 2 seasons of the name, though. But either way, it was based on, the name was pulled from somewhere. Riker, that went through a few, mainly changing in spelling, whether to spell it with a Y or an I. And a lot reusing previous concepts, the whole Riker, Deanna dynamic that was lifted from Decker and Ilea. And of course, they had to, with regards to Deanna, they had to bat back a few ideas. He wanted to have 3 boobs, 3 or 4 boobs, and Dorothy Fontana was like, well, how are you going to line them up, Gene? All in a row, stack. When you make it clear that this is stupid, he backed off rather quickly. That's the thing. Roddenberry he would do a lot of stuff, just kind of like thinking out loud. What if we do this? Then how serious it was at that point, who knows? Let's see. Tasha Yar started off as Maja Hernandez, a deliberate ripoff of Vasquez from Aliens. Then you saw that. Yeah, I'd like that kind of guy. She's the one I could have fun with. Absolutely. And that's why originally the casting was Denise Crosby was going to play Deanna, and Marina Sirtis is bringing to play Hernandez. But they would like him, but not necessarily in those roles. And in typical case of Roddenberry, let's shuffle things. Let's let's make Sirtis the counselor, and Crosby can be the security chief. We'll change the name to something. Make a Russian name, Tasha Yar. That's a good name. And make from Planet Beta. But what? The Betazoid. That doesn't sound like Bug-Eyed Monster. No. And let's see, Geordie LaForge. That was a little honor to a real life fan, Georges LaForge, the kid in an iron lung. Hardcore fanboy though, and Star Trek kind of kept him going for. I think his story is written up. I think in Star Trek Lives. About they would set up a TV so he could watch it in the mirror over his head. And let's see, but they didn't have a chief. They didn't feel the need for a chief engineer to be a main character. He'd show up, and let's see, Wesley. That was a self-insert for Roddenberry as a kid. I think to try and mask it a bit. Originally, it was Leslie, a girl. But I think they figured that's a little creepy, Gene. Well, back and forth. Then Wesley, that was Gene Roddenberry's middle name. Was Eugene Wesley Roddenberry. So that's in there. Bob Justman had to argue for the inclusion of Worf as a regular character. Because one of the things Roddenberry went is no direct connection to the original series. We're going to try and snap this up and make it stand on its own. So no relying on bringing up old, like no Vulcans, no Romulan, and he did not want a Klingon in there. But again, Justman kind of fought for that. No. This is the statement you're making is we're now friends. Like back in Errand of Mercy. It's like, one day the Earth and the Klingons will be fast friends. Never. This is the fulfillment of that. And on that one, okay, fine, you can have your Klingon. And then of course we bring in Worf. The casting of that was because Michael Dorn was a fan. He had his own idea about a Klingon, So he went in. He was very gruff, very the guys he knew were there, and they were, hey, how's it going, Mike? Just sort of growled at him. To get into the character, so he went in. So he blew him away on that one. And let's see, Data. Originally, the writer's guide said it was going to be pronounced Data. But I think that was one of those cases of, especially once you got Patrick Stewart in there. No, Data. So, okay, fine. It sounds more like a name anyway than Data. And they actually made a poke on that when Dr. Pulaski, Data. No, my name is Data. Well, what's the difference? One is my name, one is not. And, of course, Beverly Crusher. Well, it's like, got a female doctor in there, and I think it's kind of pulling on more of the, again, putting, a female, it's a more of a nurturing character, somewhat a little more appealing than a gruff old country doctor like McCoy. And I think that pretty much covers, the main cast there and the cast of characters. And again, when trying to cast the captain, they talked. William Campbell was up for at one point. Few guys they were looking for, because Roddenberry had in mind, he had more of a hairy Frenchman in mind. What he did not have in mind was a bald Englishman, but that was another Bob Justman one, where you think Justman saw him at a lecture talking about Shakespeare or something, or Dickens, and was just taken away by the voice. Said that yes, this would be a good guy. And the case of he's actually Patrick Stewart was 45 when he was cast, whereas Picard was 55. He was in the mid 50s, so he was playing about 10 years younger. But the bald head sold it that he was that age. And that little thing, because it took quite a selling point, and they brought him in, and Stewart wasn't a fan. He maybe aware of it because it was in pop culture, but Britain, Star Trek's not that big a presence. And he had to be told, when he signed on finally, it was like, you realize you kind of, signed on to an American folklore. Like, but the whole thing about whether, should he wear a hairpiece or not, and they sent back to London for his personal hairpiece. And it showed up, and it wasn't in great shape. Kind of a rat's nest type of thing. Came in with it on. It's like, okay, lose it. We'll go bald. It's imposing enough, and it'll easier to sell that he's older. But again, Roddenberry being the good, think on his feet solution to a production issue or a question. Wouldn't they have cured baldness by the 24th century? Roddenberry's answer was perfect. By the 24th century, nobody will care. And that sums it up. Okay, perfect. I think Roddenberry's big skill really was in producing and in solving these kind of problems that come up in such a way that works. And he was, as a writer, he won a Writers Guild Award for one of his Have Gun Will Travel scripts. But he was kind of hit or miss. A large part with like Justman said, like you could tell how far down in the bourbon bottle he'd gotten by how weird the script was getting. First act, teaser and first act, brilliant, best thing you ever saw in your life. Act 2, Act 3, it's like okay, still there, but by the time Act 4, it's like, what the fuck am I reading here? I think you could probably sum up the Omega Glory as a good example of that. You got a perfect little mystery here. What has happened to this ship? My God! We got a crystallized thing, and you get down and this thing about the Captain Tracy standing up against all these people and trying to stand. And by the end, it's like, what? He's reading the Constitution. What the hell happened here? It's, just that sort of thing. That's what you're. I mean, yeah, they wouldn't go to press with that. Like, you got to fix this fourth act. Shore it back up and get something workable. But again, the production, the Chaos on the Bridge is a great resource for watch what the hell happened on this show behind the scenes. It wasn't all fun and games. The cast, they're still getting along great. They're all best friends. Get together for dinners. Kind of, soldiers in arms type of thing, because they were. The conditions they were in, like their little I suspect the trailers they were put in as their dressing rooms were probably the same ones they used back in the original series. Little rinky-dink, ratted out, trailers out back. And they were not the greatest condition. And again, they probably would date back, probably even before the original series. As soon as they could get them, we don't have to build the dressing rooms, just line them up back there and we're done. But also, one of the things that recurred is of course, the cast had all been, they've been around TV, and they knew you're doing a long hard shoot. You gotta pick your chances to goof off once in a while. Yep. Now Patrick Stewart coming in, the Royal Shakespeare Company, very dedicated, very serious. We are here to work, not play around. And it's like. And they continue to say, Patrick, lighten up, okay? It's we're not playing for the Queen, okay? A large part of that was just Patrick Stewart was scared to death he was going to get fired and sent back to England any moment because he was going to make sure that he worked. Eventually, he got into the hang of it, and he got just as goofy as everybody else. Like, if you've ever seen the video of, it was a screwy little thing, Patrick Stewart singing a kind of a birthday song to Roddenberry, dancing and prancing and concludes with a straw hat and cane, and it just sort of plopped back in the thing, hat on the thing, engage, and they take that, fling it. It's on YouTube, find it, I should track it down. It's a sort of they say Patrick Stewart, and just goofing around like a weird, when they're filming. I'm jumping ahead here. All good things. Light pause here. Pause. Anyway, just taking a bit of a break here. I had to do a bathroom break. Yeah.
That's okay.
I was going to let no Rosetta now.
Patrick Stewart.
That's the thing. The inspiration I got is actually something that Simon Schama did, A History of Britain. And basically doing a series of anecdotal stories type thing. Talking about things. I figured, well, that's a good approach. I'll just go through the various ages of Star Trek that way. Okay.
I can't really
I'm dragging my ass on telling the story of JJ and Kirsten. All right.
I didn't get Star Trek. I didn't get it. It was too philosophical. It was too thinky. I said I pictured J.J. Abrams like Woody Allen, and he goes, I really wanted to approach this like, how would an idiot direct Star Trek?
That is very close to him, actually.
Because
I kind of go, when he was on the Daily Show with Jon Stewart, and I stopped listening after you said I was never a fan of Star Trek.
Your lips kept moving, yeah. And I assumed what you said. You apologized. Okay, well, I don't know if you saw the breaking news.
Mm-hmm.
We have a director for Bond 26.
Oh, geez.
Denis Villeneuve.
Maybe
the guy who did Dune and
Blade Runner
20 whatever.
He's not bad. He's not a bad director.
He's a fan. He's gonna treat it with reverence and respect. I'm like, okay, well, that's He might not have the best box office record in this country, but maybe sometimes that's what you need, a guy who really knows the ins and outs.
You know what's the rest of the video? It's on my channel. We got to play this just for those. I'll let Rosetta know you're here, so you might be popping in soon.
Who? What? Wait, what? Hi.
I'll let Rosetta know you're here now. So
okay.
She was here earlier, but had to bail.
But I just keep saying, just don't overthink it. Don't try to reinvent the wheel.
Well, they keep trotting out this black guy. There's the leading for the new bots. They'll kill it before the first frame of film goes through.
That guy looks like he should be in a Zoolander movie.
No,
that guy.
I just respond to these things with a gif of Henry Cavill from the Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie.
Even if you don't ultimately go with Henry Cavill, go with that type.
That type, yes. And
sort of the square chin, sort of very, very elegantly dressed, but still masculine and rugged.
I mean, there's a reason why he was runner-up after Daniel Craig. Okay.
He was too young at the time.
Yeah, and it wasn't a great audition, but he certainly fit the look of this is the type you cast to play James Bond. Okay.
Let me see if I got my headset on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I'm because the mic is switch over to a headset mic. Okay, so enable. Okay, and disable.
Get the game back up here. For a while, I did manage to stretch my neck out just a bit, so I was able to use this hand better. Actually picked up my phone without a whole lot of, with my left hand without a whole lot of, drama there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
A little underwater now, but you can hear me. Yeah. Okay.
Jeez. I had the headset mic.
Okay.
Yeah. But the Batman's just chilling.
Yeah, I just put the one thing about this emo is it lasts forever. Okay, it doesn't stop until I do something. Okay, Raquel what is she doing now? She's in the launcher. She was doing Rocket League earlier.
They finally got rid of the postal vans in GTA Online. I'm like, oh, thank God! Oh my God, those things were just every time. Because what you would have is you have like illegal businesses like the powder, and the gardening business. You know what I mean? The gardening.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have to choose my words carefully.
Yeah. It involves a certain activity that is now soon to be banned on Fansly, apparently. So, yeah.
Oh, geez.
Which has got a certain model of my, affection in a panic because that's most of her streams. And she has no way to download them. And it's kind of thrown a bone in where it's like, look, I have access to a website that has archived everything. They do thousands of these girls on OnlyFans and Fansly, and you're one of them, and they just updated.
I can
everything up until 2 days ago. You want your stuff back? Talk to me. Okay.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I have I know of downloaders that they're largely free, but for a modest PayPal payment, you could download from anywhere.
Yeah. Like some of these things, like there's a couple of you can do like two files, certain size. No, she does like 6-7 hour streams.
Oh, okay.
And the part of the tip menu was, like $42 or $4.20 thing. Hit the bong,
Oh, okay.
And now, they've given everyone a week to take this material off, and they're not really. There's no function there to download the stuff. Just delete it, and she doesn't want to delete it.
Why are they discontinuing that material?
I don't know. She suspects it's the banks pressuring them, but I think it's just, I don't know. Just because these guys aren't really much more reputable than the guys running OnlyFans. But
Rather than
in fact, bookkeeping wise, they're a little skeevier, frankly, because I've read a lot of guys where suddenly they're not getting paid for some strange reason. Because they're going to a third party and saying, what the fuck? And it's happened to her, it's happened to others. Let's look at that. I don't know who this kid is.
That's a good question.
I don't know. He's a soccer player. I don't know who he plays for, and they haven't bothered. Son Heung-min, South Korea.
Some young guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I
don't know. The colors of if it's not Man U or somebody, then it's like someone in the Premier League. It's like somebody on the continent. I really couldn't give a shit.
One of the
Squid Game. It's like this whole show, just the concept. Like, what the hell is this?
Like a Hunger Games kind of.
Yeah, it's like, and people watch this. It's like, no. I find the entire place no.
Oh God, I watched Ironheart.
Oh God.
So you wouldn't have to.
Yeah. I've not heard it.
That's what we call taking one for the team.
Yeah.
It's not contemptibly bad, but it's still bad.
Oh, Doomcock's having to break his review into several different pieces because he's getting so irritated.
Okay, well, here's my biggest issue. Here's my biggest issue. Yeah. They don't. It seems to be written by people who've never seen a Marvel movie.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, because the whole thing, Riri is saying, "Oh, I want to invent some really great things, but you know what? I just ain't got the money. I just ain't got you got to be a billionaire, and that's just how it is." I'm like,
yeah. Cue the clip from the first movie for Jeff Bridges. Tony Stark built this in a cave from scraps.
With a box of scraps.
Yeah. His billions didn't mean shit in that cave, bitch.
That was the thing. He had to find a way.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that.
He didn't get out of it because it's a big deal there because he's a fucking genius. Okay, he didn't need the fucking money. He's given basically a box of pinball parts. Okay, and a Roddy heater.
He had to prove he was a genius.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that scene. All right, we only get one shot at this.
Yeah.
It's enough to power your.
My turn.
It's enough to power your heart for 100 lifetimes, or something big for 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That was and then he came back and he built a better one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, and actually they do bring up by the third episode. What about freaking Alden Ehrenreich is in it? Yeah, and he's plays such a dweeb, and I'm like, this is the guy Kathleen Kennedy wanted to be Han Solo.
Yeah,
I'm like, did her daughters really like him, or like, oh mom, like that Alden kid is really cute. They should like have him be Han Solo. Like that does sound like the kind of decision making process she would go through.
Well, we've already seen how her little self is. It's always some brown haired English girl with a rebellious streak.
But he actually brings up like, what about power source for this suit? And Riri says they ain't just handing out arc reactors. Mine's powered by solar and the wind. I'm like, yeah, that makes no fucking sense. Like solar cells. Like
they've been working on solar really longer than I've been alive, but that's certainly in the 70s. Most we could do is a little thing with the pinwheel of a black and white side, and then put it in the sun and spin. That's about it.
I get you have to suspend your disbelief, but I'm like, no fucking way.
Yeah, solar is never going to build. And how the hell do you do a wind-powered mobile suit?
Who knows? And I'm like, after a while, you're just like, you people just talking out of your ass.
And how do you fly a solar-powered suit at night?
Actually, they do show the solar panel at night.
Exactly. That's
they
what
do
I mean.
show it. I'm like, this is so fun. I'm like, this is so fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm. There's an element of science fiction involved here. Very loose. It's comic book science fiction, But
yeah,
I think thing. But yeah, the original Iron Man, the script apparently sucks. Seriously sucked. So a lot of that is ad lib. They took the same basic approach as like Smokey the Bandit.
Yeah.
Use the script as like this is basically a plot diagram, but we're gonna make up the dialogue as we go along.
which works wonderfully well.
Yeah, if you got someone like Robert Downey Jr. who's going to ad lib anyway, whether we want him or not, it's like go ahead. And Favreau is enough of a geek boy too, and again, Robert Downey Jr. also apparently is a fan of the comics, going back to his kids. So they knew the material.
One of my biggest problems though is that Riri isn't motivated by anything except money
and her own personal aggrandizement.
Yeah,
I want to make them iconic. Tony Stark was trying to save his life. Okay.
Why did you build an Iron Man suit? Because I could. Like, no.
But you can't find a way to pay proper fucking English, bitch. No one's gonna give you a Nobel Prize talking like some ghetto hood. Come
on. It's just such an unlikable character. It really is.
Nobel Prize. No, madam, you not until you learn to speak proper English like the rest of us do.
Oh, and the villain is Mephisto.
Of course,
they managed to put Mephisto in it this time. After WandaVision, when they said, "Yeah, it's Mephisto," well, we have no idea who that is. They asked the showrunner from WandaVision, "Oh, so what episode is Mephisto gonna appear?" Like, hold on a second. Who's Mephisto? Oh, no, he's not gonna be in it. God. Well, you got all this, Mikey. Yeah, well, I don't know what any of that means.
This game here had Mephisto in it. Okay. The second Marvel season they did, Doom was trying to strike a deal with Mephisto to try and bring back his mother.
That's how he was scarred.
Man is a serious mommy issues. I guess. But I mean, they took up an entire corner of actually the top half of the map on the island.
I had, like I said,
very clean, very well ordered. Got to give him that. Man knows how to run a country.
Yeah, Doom was would you call him a benevolent dictator?
Pretty much. I mean, did you ever see Emperor Doom?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I ever. No, I don't think I ever did.
Was a big graphic novel, just the graphic. It wasn't a reprint of it. It was a dedicated graphic novel. And he used the Purple Man to take over the entire planet.
Kilgrave.
Yeah, Kilgrave. Yeah.
Yeah, I was always familiar with Latveria, and Latveria was. They never really said that Latveria was oppressed, or the Latverians were downtrodden, and like it was always.
Doom was loved in Latveria.
Yeah. He was. I mean, he knew what
Let's go and jump in here. Yeah.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
he knew how to run an empire.
But there's the thing. Yeah, he used Kilgrave to take over the planet. And the Avengers eventually, meant to, kind of want to bust him out of there and break the spell and everything, and take him down. But even Captain America said, you can't argue the fact that for a while the world was at peace. We didn't do a bad job, actually.
We offered the world order.
Yeah.
He was Khan.
Yeah. Well, it's like the motivations, like in the Marvel role playing game. They talk about different characters' motivations. Doom's motivations, he just thinks he's best qualified for the job.
Yeah, he is Khan.
Why do I want to rule the world? Because I can do it.
He is Khan then.
Yeah.
Doom. Yeah. I'm just. I am not looking forward to Fantastic Four.
No.
I guarantee we're being set up for a bait and switch. You really are.
And the more Pedro Pascal keeps shooting off his mouth over something like, really?
I'm just like, what is the big fascination with Pedro Pascal?
I don't know, because he's cheap. He's cheap and he's easy. Okay.
Cheap. Yeah. You see those like, Pedro Pascal is the type of masculinity we
need. He's a $20 whore of the casting couches. Okay. He just, whatever. He'll take whatever you want a character to bend over backwards and say, yes, ma'am. He'll do it.
Could he have at least shaved his mustache, though?
Nah, that was one of the complaints. Oh, why didn't he shave it? I think they went through a whole bunch of actors.
Who else was?
I don't know. I know I think Adam Driver was asked at one point.
Yeah, I heard I heard the name Adam Driver.
John Hamm would have been great. I think. Yeah.
I heard the name David Tennant. David Tennant said he would have liked to have played Reed Richards.
That may have been a case of I don't think they bothered to ask him, but like,
I don't know. I don't know if he was actually asked, or if he auditioned, or if he read for the part, or I don't know what. But
his American accent's a bit dodgy, so it's probably just as well.
He's still is. I like seeing him though. He's actually
When lately he's turned into a bit of a bell end, but
yeah, he was actually in a really good series called Spies of Warsaw. That was on BBC years ago. It was actually,
I remember hearing about it. Yeah.
It was a spy drama set in the early days of World War II.
Yeah. I think I recall something, one of those highly acclaimed, yes, BBC, like when it meant something.
Somebody named Rahul Kohli auditioned for the Reed Richards part. I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Okay, looking at nice Indian actor. He's got the big poofy hair. I'm like, maybe. I don't know.
It's like, Reed Richards suddenly is, some.
Okay, I'm gonna play that card. I'm like, why do so many Indian people have that big poofy hair? I don't know. They have that Elvis hair.
They got this. That's the texture of their hair. It seems like, yeah.
Okay. Like the Elvis is still. I thought Elvis was still huge in India. Probably.
All right. Yep.
2 famous Hollywood actors who auditioned for Reed Richards. Let me see. Christopher Abbott. And Jamie Dornan. I don't.
Oh, that would have been good.
I'm not
an Irish actor. He's in 50 Shades. Yeah.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, I don't need 2.
Oh, that guy. Okay. Actually, he's kind of like a Henry Cavill type.
Yeah, and he's got a much better American accent too.
Yeah. Okay. I always I have to remind people, whomever they get to play Bond, they're going to do some work on him. They're going to, if they're smart, they're going to do some work on him.
Yeah.
All right, go down to Savile Row. We're gonna get you fitted for a suit now. Go home and
tailor. Yeah.
This suit is going to become a part of you.
I still like the whole thing about how when when Lazenby was making his pitch, and the whole thing, he went to the same tailor where they got where they got Connery his suits, and there just happened to be one of his suits in stock that he hadn't picked up for whatever reason, and he was the same size, so that so he went in to Eon Productions looking the part down to the again there was one of Connery's suits that he intended for Connery, and he gave him again. It was back in the back in like 69, they couldn't check anything, so he's making up all kinds of bullshit about I was in this production, that production back in Poland or something. That's why I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, then he said, to tell you the truth, I haven't been in anything. I just I bluffed my way up here.
Yeah, and confess to the director, I'm really not an actor. Son, you just fooled 2 of the most vicious guys in the entire industry. You're an actor.
See, it's those kind of stories I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Lotus got the thing to do her Bond car. The guy just took all the badges off of the Esprit Turbo and drove it up there, and then just left it and let people gather around.
They parked it outside the office.
I was wondering, what the hell is this?
I remember when Richard Hammond was doing the thing about the Bond cars.
Oh yeah.
He said how they asked for months Aston Martin to give them a car, and they finally said, "Okay, we won't give you a car, but we'll sell you one for full price,
yeah.
5,000 pounds."
Back then, that was real money too.
Yeah, and they did, and then they did $25,000 worth of upgrades to it.
And actually, the Aston, the DB5 wasn't actually not actually a DB5. It was really a DB4 because the DB5 hadn't come out yet.
Yeah. I saw the Aston Martin at a car show years and years and years ago, and they actually had a guy there to answer questions about it, which was actually pretty cool. They had a guy who just kind of kept an eye on the car.
Yeah,
I think there were 2 of them, weren't there?
Well, you had the main car, and it was really a DB4 with a DB5 shell on it.
Okay. Well, anyway,
because again, the DB5 hadn't actually come out yet; it was just planned. Yeah. All he had was a brochure.
Well, anyway,
but they made some stunt cars based on it, so they copied it. Yeah.
So you have to go off and film some second unit stuff, and yeah. But they had a guy there that was answering questions, and I guess he was partly for security. You don't want anybody messing, like climbing and taking pictures or whatever. And I asked him. He goes, "Is there anything on this thing that really works?" He goes, "Oh yeah, everything works. Everything on this thing works. The machine guns, the oil slick, the smoke screen, everything on this thing works." And they built it like that deliberately. Yeah. Like you're kidding me. No. And I think I asked him who owns it. And some guy in Florida owned it at the time. Yeah. I can't remember what he paid for it at the time, but I remember it was stolen not that long ago.
Yeah, it's been through a bit of history. Yeah.
And Richard Hammond asked, "Why hasn't James Bond driven more Alfa Romeos?" I'm like, "Well, he actually wants to get there.
Yeah,
get to where he's going, and he doesn't want me in the back of a tow truck."
Yeah. Hold on, I got my hands full in case you hadn't noticed. First, I gotta get. Steph wants to get in, which picked the wrong damn time, as usual.
Oh boy!
Thank you.
Hi, Steph. How you doing?
All right. All right. Whoa. All right, there we go.
So they gave away this last week. They gave away 2 Point Hospital on Epic Games. Yeah, and it's like I'm trying to play. I'm like, it's okay, but it's kind of boring.
Yeah,
I'm trying to mess up to make people start croaking. What shall we call our lovely institution? You're gonna die soon.
Where the hell?
Cured a new disease. We can't have that.
The hell? Down there? Okay, there's down there. Okay. Whoa.
Oh God, I got to order actually a new pair of sneakers. I finally wore out my. I go through about 1 pair of sneakers a year. I'm pretty fortunate that way, but now it's like, okay, I got no way around it. Gotta order them. There's these ones called barefoot shoes. They look like big Daffy Duck feet.
Oh God.
Oh no, they're shaped more like your foot is actually like your foot is shaped rather than being pointy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try a pair of those rather than my Vans.
Yeah. I've always been more of a Chuck Taylor one.
Yeah. Well, I have to get whatever's available because the old trap of
trying to find a decent pair of Converse high tops can be for an affordable price
and in your size.
Yeah. That can be an exercise in temptation. Yeah. I've gotten lucky sometimes, usually, but
Designer shoe warehouse closed down, so I'm like, oh well.
Okay, what's left over here. Well, the rest of these guys are out there killing each other. The connection issues is just enough. Like, I'm not going to rush into anything, okay? This situation where it's like it'll lock up and just freeze right at the moment I'm actually firing at somebody. Bye. This is one long time rumored collaboration. They're supposed to be doing something with Bond and bringing in the DB5.
Really? Oh, now that Amazon does. Amazon owns everything now.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I don't know if we talked about this. Please don't do Old Man Bond. I know people are asking for it, but
no,
you paint yourself into the same corner. You're gonna have to either kill them off or reboot the whole series.
We kind of had that with Never Say Never Again, really.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and kind of tighten up my fan edit of that. Because one of the things, I got pretty good, it's really more of a proof of concept thing, but I got to balance the sound better and a few other things. But
the old man Bond thing, it has just taken root on the internet, and it's spawned a life of its own. And I'm like, no, you people don't know what you're asking for. It's not a good idea.
No. It's one of those, sounds good on paper, it'd probably be a great fanfic, but no one wants to pay money and watch it.
You're left with 70-year-old Pierce Brosnan and all the limitations he has.
And while, he'd do a great job acting-wise, there's also the real possibility you could be, looking for a major liability thing if he hurts himself. Off of the number of mishaps Harrison Ford has had on sets. Okay.
Not for nothing. I loved the way they introduced Timothy Dalton.
Yeah.
He just turns around, he takes off the balaclava or whatever.
Yeah.
Just do that, please.
Yeah.
Do that.
I mean, you can tell by the way. Yeah. Well, besides the fact I haven't seen the poster by that point. Oh, there he is. Yeah. And just takes the phone and says, who are you? Bond. James Bond. Yes, I need to pick up that.
I need to pick up.
Make it about an
hour.
All right, there we go.
Actually, Pierce Brosnan's new series is actually much better than him doing Bond.
Well, yeah. Oh, he's good in everything.
Well, yeah. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, but have you seen Mobland?
No, I have not actually.
I was thinking of all the crap he went through just to get Bond, though. And we got one good movie out of him with GoldenEye, and then it just started going downhill from there.
My sister-in-law recommended The Marvelous Miss Maisel, just because it's about someone doing stand-up.
Whoops. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you'd find that interesting.
Wait, why do I get bandages? Give me that. No, give me that. Here.
But the ideas that people are coming up with, do a spinoff with another agent. I'm like, no. I mean, it's not a universe. I mean, you'd have to build up someone to that point.
Like the whole Jinx spinoff didn't go anywhere for a reason. Nobody really cares. Okay, and this is Halle Berry at her peak at this point. Okay.
Yes. Oh yeah. Like I mean, there's not all these characters just running around like Doctor Strange or who's already interesting.
Yeah. You got another one? Maybe. Just try not to destroy anything inside though this time. There we go. Oh. Yes, the little robots keep themselves amused.
There is one person I would love to have seen as a Bond baddie. Unfortunately, he's dead now.
Who?
Val Kilmer.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Yeah. Because anytime you get Val Kilmer situation where he's allowed to chew the scenery of the bandit, it's like, And he's one of those. It's like he wants to do the whole actor thing, whatever,
Oh yeah.
That's why he loved doing the Saint, because the director, let him go wild on some of those disguises.
Yeah. I know I've told you about it, honey, but Rob, I don't know if you knew, but there was a reboot of the Saint that they were going to do on Netflix.
There's a TV show they tried.
Unfortunately, Roger Moore died, so.
Oh,
And he was kind of a background character.
I've heard like rumblings of like the Saint over the years that they want to do a new version of the Saint. Yeah, every once in a while you hear about that.
Well, the Saint's less problem because it wasn't like Roger Moore was the first one to play the Saint anyway. It was a novel series, and George Sanders played him at one point, like back in the 40s.
He was what? He was a secret agent, or was he a private
I'm not
investigator?
sure. He was just sort of a international busybody, really. He's just sort of just got in people's business.
International busybody. I like that.
I don't think he actually really worked for anybody. I don't think he just.
Yeah,
just a wealthy guy who kind of.
Yeah, I just went around getting into stuff.
They were actually going to make another series of the Saint. I'm forgetting who the star was in this one, but they were going to do a whole series and everything. Had a pilot. Roger Moore died. Then it was like.
I think Roger Moore's going to be the guy who gave him all his assignments or whatever. We need to look at this template.
AI overview. In the popular fictional series The Saint, Simon Templar, also known as the Saint, is not a spy in the traditional sense, but he often operates in the realm of espionage and thievery, sometimes blurring the lines between the two. He's primarily portrayed as a wealthy Robin Hood-like figure who uses his skills and charm to help those in need, often by outsmarting criminals, exposing the wrongdoings. Oh,
yeah. Just what do you do when you're one of the idle rich? Sometimes you just become a
I'm a bit of a busybody.
Yeah, you just instead of becoming a superhero. I don't know.
Kilmer is the Saint. I mean, he really knew how to.
Nowadays,
take that character and run with it.
Nowadays, if you're the idle rich, you start a space program.
Yeah. Well, it's also they kind of really went into the origin of that movie. It's like, where did this guy come from? Because they never really touched on that. Because again, there's an established character in the books and stuff, so it's like just play him. Don't worry about who he came from. He's just this guy, Simon Templar. He does these things and he's fun. He drives a Saab or something.
Well, I kind of like hearing the background though.
Well, yeah, because how long it had been since the Saint had been on TV at that point. So, how many people even knew Roger Moore wasn't James Bond?
30 years or so?
Yeah, it had been a while. Okay, I'm up for that.
Actually, watching the Saint on an independent station down in Florida when I was still there.
Yeah. It get ran on ABC over here when it was back like when they also ran the Avengers and stuff like that.
I remember when I was a kid, the Avengers would run late night on CBS.
Yeah. I know they had it when they tried to when they tried to bring a show back for some new girl. Kind of the new Avengers type of thing. Yeah. And, no, Steed is not going to be doing the whole stuff. He's bringing in some hot young stud to do it for him. Here.
So I don't know if I should be excited or not about the new Bond movie. I'm like about the potential for a Bond movie because we don't have one yet.
Damn it!
But
Mouse is gonna.
Seems like they're moving in the right direction, except for Amy Pascal.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's the main thing. And that's where I think a lot of this stuff is coming from with, make it a black guy.
Well, unless they gave her very specific instructions, like this is going to be what your role on this film is going to be. You are going to produce. You are not to have any creative input.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's the case. I think she gave him a song and dance. Oh, no, Spider-Man stuff. I can do it. It's like,
She does have a producing credit on Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably what made it why they hired her.
And it's going to be a case of, because remember when all the letters got out, all the emails came out. How about Idris Elba's Bond? Because the thing they're doing now, they keep putting this black guy out there and say, "Hey, here's the leading contender." It's like, you do that, you will kill the franchise before you do a single frame of film. Because part of the thing was like with Bezos, it's going to be British. It's, and then everyone's saying, no, it's going to be, we're not going to put an American in there. It's going to be, it's like, I'm a stand-up comedian, and we heard on I think it was Radio 2, or doing a thing about about should Bond be a black man? It's like, can Bond be a black man? He's supposed to be he's supposed to be a spy, right? He goes to Russia. It's all white. You go around, the little brown babies. Oh, I think Bond's been here.
I've often said that he's not going to blend in Russia.
No, another
men. We have word that an MI6 agent is here in Moscow. He's carrying secrets that are vital to the motherland. We have orders to shoot him on sight. Now, are there any questions? Yeah, you in the back, Sergey. Yeah, yes, sir. How recognize him? Just look for the black guy.
Yeah. The second he gets off the plane, boom, there we go.
I think that's him. How do you know? He's a black guy. Okay, good enough. I talked to Jeff from World Class Bullshitters about this, and I said that because he's a big Bond fan too.
Yeah.
Russia is a nation of 140 million.
Mm-hmm.
There's only roughly 40 to 70,000 Afro-Russians.
Yeah.
To say that there's no black people in Russia is not an exaggeration.
Yeah. This is the big thing that unlocks when the movie premieres, but this is
Oh, neato. Look at that. The Daily
Planet. Yeah, that's a neat little skin, a glider. And the thing is, they've got Superman. It's like, it's gonna be this one. I like, the only thing I like about it is the color. Okay. I do not like them using this Kingdom Come S shield. And I also don't like the Mandarin collar. And I was like, that's a stupid New 52 thing. It's like, no, get in it. What I do like, though, is
I like the trunks.
They finally brought this out.
Oh, neato. Look at
that. It's a Fleischer, no Fleischer cartoons thing, but hey, okay, this is the Superman skin I wanted all along. It's proper, everything else.
I like those. It's Max Fleischer, right?
Yeah,
I like those Max Fleischer cartoons. Yeah.
No, like 14 of them still. Because the thing is, again, when I just saw that. What's his face, skin? That's like because the thing is, those who've been around a while, we already have a Superman skin. So okay, and I'm supposed to get all excited about this thing. Why? This guy's got the proper S shield. Got a pretty good glider coming. In fact, I'm going to run him for a while.
Okay,
Oh, God.
honey. I think when you go into early retirement next year, we need to start saving for a trip back to Metropolis.
Oh yeah, do another visit to the museum.
Cleveland, the museum.
No, Metropolis, Illinois.
Oh, Metropolis, Illinois. I saw
Yeah, they got they went whole hog in the Superman thing back in the 70s.
Oh,
and
wow.
haven't looked back. Got like a 20-foot or 30-foot tall statue of Superman in the middle of town, in front of a giant, and they're little S shields all along the road leading you to the middle of town.
Oh, wow.
And they got a Superman museum there, all kinds of memorabilia.
Yeah, want to come along, Rob?
Sounds like fun.
Okay, yeah, I should probably dig up a couple of videos. I did a few videos while I was there.
There is a town in Alberta called Vulcan.
Yeah, it's an old steel mountain, steel town.
Okay, yeah, you know about it. The Spock days now.
Yeah, it was in the movie Trekkies.
Okay.
Yeah,
they also for a while they were doing Altair water.
Vulcan also made the.
They're in Artesian Spring there.
Yeah.
And they're marketing that for it's from Vulcan. It's like, really.
I always ask the question, wow, if they do that in Metropolis, Illinois and Vulcan, Alberta, wonder what they do in Chevy Chase, Maryland.
Hold their heads in shame, probably.
Try to change the name of the town.
Well, it's a nickname anyway for him. I think his actual name is. I think his actual name was like Mortar or something,
Cornelius.
Or Cornelius, that's it,
Yeah, Cornelius Crane Chase.
But someone hang. I like because every other game, he just because mostly just kind of, but he actually does the pose instead of this typical skydiver thing.
Internet.
Something they didn't carry over.
I actually gave Jeff the I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I said to him, listen. I said to him one time. I was talking to him. Says, listen, I don't pitch ideas to anybody, but if you want to use this, you can have it.
Yeah.
Because we've all heard the rumblings about a black Superman movie from J.J. Abrams.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? They're not going to take it far enough. I say have Superman crash land in Harlem. He drives a big Eldorado. He's got a fur hat on. He's got the platform shoes. His name's Superman Jones.
The real Superfly. Okay.
The real Superfly. And he says, you know what? He says, I love it. He goes, I probably won't do a comic, but I'll do a poster. His soul is black as kryptonite.
Oh my God.
I was like, that's what I like about you, Jeff.
Oh boy. Well, here's a little bit of useless trivia for you, Rob.
One of
the guys in National Lampoon's European Vacation is actually related to Blake Lively.
Really? How about that?
Yeah, Jason Lively. He played Rusty.
Oh, really? Oh,
well, since Anthony Michael Hall couldn't be bothered to come back, I guess. I'm not thinking.
There is a joke in Vegas Vacation about the kids are getting older. I hardly recognize them anymore.
One thing I got irritated about with they did the remake, with Sudeikis and something. And we meet up with Clark, and I think he's not doing Clark. He's just doing typical Chevy Chase shtick. Because I don't recall Clark being the big bumbling oaf that,
It's the dumb dad.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah.
Cliche. But, oh God. We were having a debate and talk about National Lampoon, where all the good comedy writers. I'm like, I have no idea anymore. I don't think they're not on YouTube. Well,
yeah.
And if they are, I mean, they're few and far between.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to be working in late night. I know that.
Yeah. Oh, not yet.
Even pardon me. even like the nastiest, like skankiest adult magazine used to need writers for articles. They had to fill pages.
Oh, Harold Ramis, when it starts, was writing the letters in the Paramount, the Penthouse, thing.
Dear Penthouse.
I'd never thought this was possible, before, but I thought.
I swear, every word is true.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I still remember what William Shatner said in Playboy one time.
When they did his Playboy interview, it's like, "Would you ever want to be?" No, I missed the clang. I never want to be a woman. No, I missed the clanging on my balls. So,
no, I missed the clanging in my balls. I was told my Shatner impression is annoying by Rosetta. Well, isn't that the point? That it's annoying. I went into
you
space.
two are annoying. Yeah. I like when that works out.
Oh God! I refuse this working out. I refuse to see the Naked Gun reboot. Sorry.
Wait a minute. Did I just?
Oh, good.
Give me that back.
They rebooted the Naked
Gun.
Gun.
Liam Neeson is
sort of a reboot, sort of a sequel. Oh, and they want to do a Young Frankenstein series for Netflix, I think.
How do you get a series out of that?
I don't know. They're commissioning a pilot. I don't want to say it's a joke that works only once, but it's. But you can't do it over 10 episodes.
No. All right, damn it! I knew there was a B here. Oh, again.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the Spaceballs movie.
Oh, I watched the monkey movie about Robbie Williams.
Oh yeah,
which actually
I've heard it's actually good.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. But unfortunately, what happens is, because you're looking at a monkey, there's some serious moments that are completely undercut by it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a monkey, man. Come on.
That's also nobody over here knows who the hell Robbie Williams is. So
yeah, I went into him like, okay, listen, I'm going to treat this as a movie here. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
And it was just like for the first half hour, I'm like, are they serious? Is this a serious thing? Then you were starting to watch it. You're like, okay, it's not bad. It's pretty interesting. But for me, it would work better at the end. I'm like, oh, he's this huge star. I'm like, he finally, resolves his personal issues and whatever. If they'd dropped the monkey.
Eventually you see him as he normally is. Instead of
oh, this is me. I'm finally comfortable with who I am. I've accepted what's happening. Yeah.
Make it clear. This is his self-image. This is how he sees himself in the situation.
Yeah.
Kind of a reverse of how when I think Dominic Cooper was doing. They did a biopic on Ian Fleming.
Oh, okay,
yeah. Dominic Cooper it looks nothing like Ian Fleming. He looks like someone you cast as James Bond.
Yeah.
But that's the way he saw himself, though.
Oh yeah.
Especially Charles Dance in there, who has played Ian Fleming in another picture, in another production, which is kind of interesting. But,
the spy stories end all spy stories. And I made
him and his wife were both so fucked up. They kind of, I don't know anybody else could live with each other. Because they were both kind of, twisted in just the right way. They matched up.
Oh dear God.
Yeah. How old was Ian Fleming when he wrote Casino Royale anyway? He was an older guy.
He was he had a whole career before the war.
He was he worked in a bank, from what my brother Dino told me.
Well, not well.
When he wrote Casino, put it into Google. He was 44.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for those of you thinking you waited too long to get your life going, present company included.
Well, J.R.R. Tolkien was he was in his he was 38 when he wrote The Hobbit.
Yeah.
And he was probably in his 60s when he wrote Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Of course, he did have a career at that point. He was,
Yeah, he was a professor of linguistics.
Yeah, he had a job at Oxford, so there wasn't any,
it was published when he was 62.
Yeah, it wasn't starving artist territory. It was like,
actually, you know what?
Long-awaited follow-up to what he did back in his 30s.
Clive Cussler, who's from Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I never got a chance to go to the Clive Cussler Museum, which is which is out there. He actually started writing all the Dirk Pitt novels because his wife was a nurse, and she worked nights.
Uh-huh.
And so he just like, well, I need something to do. Well, he started writing.
There you are. Oh.
Lewis Black was the only person who ever spoke negatively of writing a book. He goes, "Don't write a book. It's like having homework every night."
Yeah. Oh, he's somewhere. There's a.
Yeah. Speaking of famous Coloradans, honey, if I recall, the guy who directed what was it, Alien 3, is actually from Colorado.
Okay. Who was that? Wasn't that
the name right now?
Wasn't Brett Ratner, was it? Wasn't Brett Ratner, was it?
No, I don't think it was.
No, it wasn't Ratner. No. David something.
I know he went on to actually have a pretty good career, and he kind of disowned the whole thing. And he was a first-time director. They bullied him around. It wasn't really his picture. And that was I chalked it as one of those cases of where the clock in the front office is dictating things to hell with reality. And another one where I don't care what kind of situation you're talking about. Every time that happens, whether it's Alien 3 or Apollo 1 or the Titanic, it always ends in some degree of disaster. Let's see. There's supposed to be some real good mythics coming in for Superman. Yeah.
Honey, isn't there one of our old friends that actually kind of disowned James Cameron after Avatar?
Oh.
Something about the way he treated some guy, who went up and asked him for an autograph.
That was, no, it wasn't disowned. There's the typical paparazzi thing where they bug you until when you finally snap, then they start rolling the camera.
Yeah. they provoke you.
James Cameron's an asshole to his fans. And he's probably being perfectly reasonable and talking and said, "Look, I'm trying to get. I got it. Do you shut it?" That's when they start getting. You don't see the lead up.
My older brother says that it doesn't matter who the celebrity is. I heard he's a real creep. This guy's a real creep. He's a real creep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what makes you like, well, and it's usually point to some incident where exactly that, where somebody snaps. I'm like, well,
yeah.
Not for nothing. The guys just walking down the street, you getting in his face.
Or trying to have dinner, like what
And I said, and I was at a convention. Pete Best was there signing autographs.
Yeah.
And I probably told you this before.
I don't know.
My brother Dave comes up at the table getting his autograph.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have met a Beatle. Not necessarily the one I wanted, but I'm getting the autograph. My brother Dave comes up from the side. It says, "Hey Pete, you hide your anger well." He goes, "Do you get together with Alan Williams and talk about all the money that went down the drain?" Oh yeah, man. Alan, I talked to Alan. He's not well, man. And I'd remind him, well, Dave,
honey.
remember the time you went up to Pete Best and told him you're hydroing your well? I'm like, that's what they deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah. It's like, you're lucky he's from Liverpool. He would have put Nick in your head off.
If you're from Scotland,
he'd be laughing when they took your head off. But yeah, Liverpool, you probably get snark and you get it back at you. But what?
Bob.
Talk.
Okay. Oh shoot. Yeah. Remember Dean Devlin's reaction when I asked her to autograph that copy of Move 44?
Oh God, yeah. It was back when Devlin was still kind of a, I don't know, child actor, or at least he was, a young and up and coming actor type of thing. And it's kind of, oh my God, they put this on DVD. And he's showing the rest of the game. Yeah, that's me.
Oh God, I got but we were talking about the monkey movie before, though. I mean, I went on, I can't remember what was the instance, but some internet instance, and they were saying, oh yeah, I can't believe Americans don't recognize Robbie Williams. I'm like, well, in all fairness, yeah, this is not a knock against him, but Weird Al Yankovic is more recognizable in America.
Yeah.
And they got pissed about that.
Yeah,
like,
newsflash. Take that. Did not make it big in America, okay? It happens.
I'm like, this is not something I created. I'm like, okay, I'm just saying. if you saw Weird Al Yankovic walking down the street in Los Angeles or whatever, you'd have people going, hey, Al, how you doing? Hey, Al, hey, it's like I said. And actually, I saw the Weird Al movie is actually really good.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
I think I've got it on my Prime Video account.
I got it downloaded. I just haven't watched it yet.
That's the whole thing. Boo, you're a bunch of slaves. Boo. Oh God, I met the son of the cop that arrested Jim Morrison.
Oh boy.
In New Haven, yeah. Oh, listen, he's a cop. He was doing his job. Like I don't begrudge him that, but
Yeah.
it's
Ray Manzarek, I think, when he supposedly exposed himself. There are pictures of the stage. I think not one of the Ivory Shack. Okay, so no, Jim did not expose himself. They made it up to arrest him.
Yeah,
they just wanted to stop the show.
That was yeah. That was, like I said, the way Jim Morrison, the way Ray Manzarek tells the story about when they arrested in New Haven. The whole line of cops in front of the stage, and they're playing Backdoor Man. And there he was, a little blue man in a little blue coat, a little blue pig. And they all stop watching the crowd, turn around, start watching them.
Ugh.
And that's when they said, "You've gone too far, young man."
Oops.
Yeah, you're getting. You can imagine, like I said, you're a cop in the '60s. You're getting overtime. You might be able to bash in a few heads, a couple long hairs. Oh boy!
I already got one. I got one. Oh, what are we down to? 4 other players.
It's so un-Superman-like. He's running around carrying a gun.
Yeah. Well, that's they got some mythics coming out that will allow you to fly, to use heat vision, to punch the hell out of things. But the way it sounds like, it's going to be you don't have multiple. It's just one in the game. So you'll only have one guy being able to act as Superman. Well, it's kind of like when the Marvel season last one did. And they actually had some mythics where you got an Iron Man skin. Now you can actually run as Iron Man. They got the boot jets. They got repulsors. They got yes, finally. Yeah. That was fun. Okay.
There was a game called Freedom Force. It was a role-playing game, RPG.
Yeah.
It was an action. They called it an action RPG.
Yeah.
But there were quite a few Marvel mods for it.
Yeah.
But one of the things you just had to up all their resistance. Otherwise, one hit and they're down for the count.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and she's back.
For a few, I'm bouncing between a couple streams.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna be
Hey, Rob.
Hey, what's
Hey,
Just wanted to come say hi. Fuck off. Hi, yes, how you doing?
Yeah.
and to fuck off.
And I think I'll wrap it there. Yeah.
If it makes you feel any better, I ticked fuck off at my mom several times the other day. I also started ticking bitch at my niece.
Oh,
It's okay. She has a sense of humor.
It's a San Rosetta going off.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
My niece doesn't get offended easy. She's been around me too long.
Yeah.
The first day I met her, when my brother first got her, long story, he didn't know his ex had her until she was 2.5 years old.
Whoops.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot behind that. But when he first got her, he swings by to see me on the way taking her home. She's not quite 3 years old. She walks into my house, this scared little traumatized kid, but apparently no shame or fear in my house. Walks right past me, walks over to my end table, grabs my soda, and starts chugging it.
Sounds like my brother Mark.
Her dad looks at her after a moment and goes, "Excuse me, what do you say?" Pulls the cup down. "Hi," and starts chugging it again. We're like,
oh boy.
Okay. So
how
she's
is your mother?
Long
That's
story, I'm not getting into on
That's
air.
a story, yeah.
That's a long one. Yeah, that's a long one.
Now, what is she doing here?
Wow, you eat penis.
Yeah, come on. Okay, she's doing the mega golf thing again. So I'll just pause, my part in here.
Again, my niece has been around me since she was not quite 3 years old. She's 18 going on 19. I'd say she's well adjusted to me at this point.
Well, if she's not, then something's definitely wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not an idiot. She graduated a year early, for fuck's sakes. And that was after being a year behind because of all the medical shit and the other stuff. So... And that was a whole war too, because remember they were trying to take away crediting her Special Olympics stuff as being physical education class.
Oh, please.
Which just like, huh?
They're awful sticklers about that, about physical education, even at the university level.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she literally competed and got gold medals in Special Olympics competitions. And they tried to say that doesn't count as physical education. It's like, well, she can't do the regular classes. She's got spinal damage because she's a Depo baby.
Yeah.
It's like saying that, no, creative writing doesn't count as English. Huh?
Anything you're good at, they don't want to count.
Yeah.
It's like the fact that she's got spinal damage as a Depo baby and she still managed to get medals in races and shit.
I'm gonna go.
Should be absolutely applauded.
Hey, I helped build a house over the summer doing framing. Yeah, that doesn't count as your
shop class.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what they call. Yeah.
Oh.
But so she had to fight with him in war with him on that, and they basically backed down about the time they realized that her aunt was going to help her get lawyers.
Anyway,
what? Speak.
Next time you start start saying to me that you created a monster, look at Will Ferrell first.
Do I have to?
Do you have to?
Let me put it to you this way, honey.
He's a douche now.
That Eurovision movie was not, was not something
Bob?
you did on impulse.
Yeah.
Bob, do you want to know an entertaining moment you probably would have laughed at?
What?
I played the shoebox clip for Mom.
Oh boy.
We were in a neighboring town heading back to the house. It's about a half-hour drive from that town to here.
Oh my God.
We finished the clip as we were driving out of town. My mom was still laughing when we hit this town.
Oh boy.
Oh God. How many have I got watching right now? 6. Okay. Should we explain?
Help, I sexted my boss podcast. The help, I opened my mom's shoebox story. That's all you need to know. Look it up.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it to you. I want the shock to be genuine.
My mom kept asking because I was talking about people who stories that just blew my mind. And I said shoebox stories. She goes, "What do you mean by that?" It's like I can't explain it without giving away what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, "Fine, just play it for me." Then it's like, "Okay, fine. It's a few minutes. I'll play it for you as we cross this town."
Mm-hmm.
I played it for her. I thought she was gonna die laughing.
Mm-hmm.
She's just there. At about time they said "Clone Willie," her face just went for a moment, and then she starts laughing so hard I thought she was gonna wreck the car.
It gets worse. What?
It gets worse.
I can't imagine worse.
She's using her mom's dildo for Christ's sake.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. My mom's face went through all kinds of emotions. Little clip.
Oh boy.
And this started off by finding out that my brother watches Dobray's videos with his daughters.
Oh.
Dobray's more centrist on a lot of shit that my brother's been really liberal about. She might be good for him. Might help him see a perspective besides his own, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it helps sometimes.
Oh,
but we had some laughter at that.
I can imagine.
Everybody.
So if you guys want to end the stream, we could always watch a couple of the latest videos that Carr posted.
Okay.
Because we haven't done that in a while.
No, and
I've been on for 3 hours.
Yeah,
I'm working on shit. And technically, I'm on Anime's stream, but I'm not focusing it. Fuck off! Streaming well today, so I'm not sure how well I'm handling this shit.
I'm not sure how well Anime's focused on his own stream anyway. So.
Well, the streams on Wednesday night, they tend to take a little more serious of discussion and debate on topics.
Oh, okay. So he's not playing Bond again.
No, he's not playing Bond. He's discussing what they're planning for that, and they're already on talking about Blade right now. We already went through Street Fighter shit too.
Yeah, we just had a little Bond discussion there. It's like, if they go through this black guy, they'll kill the franchise right there before they even shoot.
Let's just end this. I want to watch some.
Okay, we'll talk to you later, guys.
Find